What is happening? And welcome to your Thursday Night Delight. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Sean the Right Way, and joining me, as always, hailing from Planet Girth, we have Brent from Brent's Bricks. Which way? That way? This way?
I wasn't sure who you were talking about there for a second.
And joining us once again with a new hat, a cool stash, and a new hairdo, which we're going to check out later, it's Max from West Coast Bricks. And joining us again, this is so awesome. He was just on recently. We had to bring him right back because it's a very exciting topic tonight. He is the undisputed Grand Mock Tarkin of the Lego world, the world heavyweight champion of mocks, Rich Boy JHAE.
Oh, you put the Bruce Buffer on there.
I did a little buff on that because we are a couple of brickheads. Yeah. Should we bounce? Go.
Hit him with that Bruce Buffer.
Ready. It is a couple of brickheads coming to you live this Thursday, April 13th. And guys, in just a few short weeks, it's going to be May the 4th, which, actually a lot of this activity is happening May the 1st, and that's on a Monday. I'm always bummed when it's new release day, not on a weekend. I guess it happens more times than not, but it just feels right when it's a nice crisp Saturday, and it's new release day.
Hey, I appreciate when it's during the week because I work weekends. So when cool stuff happens during the week, I'm like, yes, finally.
It works both ways. There you go.
I think I'm a big Friday guy. I like Fridays for releases.
Sure.
Like Force Friday, those days used to hit. So that's what I'm feeling.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough to get out during the week. I don't know. I guess it's split, right? It's like, so for some, the weekday thing is cool. Jay, obviously, you've been, I don't know if you're still there, but you worked at Lego stores. Does it make a difference as far as the draw on what day of the week it is, or does it have to more so do with the sets and what's going on?
Definitely the sets. If people want the sets, they'll skip work for it.
That's a good thing to hear. I like that. So guys, tonight we got a lot to cover. We're going to get into some Falcon news. I mean, we need a more clever name. So if anyone has one, we're going to do that.
He needs his own theme.
The spotlight.
He's like, whatever Falcon said. But there is no new Millennium Falcon. We just want to be clear. This is Falcon 1414 news. So, for us, it's like there's many sources out there. But for us, the Falcon is not only a friend at this point, right, guys? But I feel like he's the most reliable source out there for us. He vets his things. He, makes sure it's the truth before he puts it out there. So I respect that.
It's all about the truth.
There you go. All right, guys, let's get into the first set. I guess we'll just start from the beginning. Yeah, let's get into this Little Mermaid. Nice zoom, Max. A real pro.
Yeah. You got it from you, Sean.
What's that?
Got it from you.
Yeah, there you go.
The king of zoom.
I don't know, Jay, you want to take this one first? What do you think about this Little Mermaid? It's going to be the live action version. Some people have been going back and forth on whether they would have rather had a set this girthy for the OG, but here we are. We're getting this, and you could do a fig swap, I suppose. It doesn't really matter, but what do you think about the set?
I mean, it looks cool. Like, it looks cool.
Jay, you're not the biggest Disney guy, right? I don't think, right?
Cool.
I mean, yeah, I'm not even sure I've actually seen The Little Mermaid. I know, Tony.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, if I was trying to, collect like the majority of like Star Wars minifigs and stuff, it's like it's easy to skip on Disney if like your heart's not like all the way in it. Like I get Disney stuff, but most of the time it's gifts for my daughter. So like for me, I don't really own it. Like the Disney Castle, no, that's a little bit mine and my daughters.
Yeah, Disney
'Cause
Castle,
that set's
you
awesome.
just gotta get it. I had to
That's
get it. Like,
yeah, that set's just cool. It's like all time classic. But as
Disney
far as like
Castle?
yeah. And like I do love the Disney like the minifigure series. I'm really excited for the new one, but like this is cool. How do we know how much this is gonna be? Does it just have the euro?
I want to say
149.
170.
Yeah, it sounds
I
more.
mean, it is minifigures, right? It's not
good. Reported 160 earlier today, so it's somewhere in that range.
yeah. Well, it's minifigures, so that's cool that it's not mini dolls at least.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think
figures. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a big positive.
I think the Frozen set, Jay, would have done better if it had minifigs. What do you think? The Frozen set's pretty cool, though. Ice Castle one.
I do. We do have the Ice Castle one. Also, we haven't built it yet, but
so I mean,
we'll be building that soon.
Uh-oh.
I feel like that
I was gonna say. I was just about to show it. Sorry. First super chat of the day, y'all. Big shout out to Macro. This is resist the urge.
The man Macro 2146. Resist the urge. What, to buy this thing? I don't know.
Resist the urge to send more super chat. Don't resist.
That's how I took it. I was like, resist the urge to send more super chats or buy the set. I don't know.
Nah, man, let it flow.
Hey, you guys have to listen to the orders of Grand Mock Tarkin over here. Okay, so
I mean, like it looks fine. I wouldn't say it's like one of those sets that kind of blow me away in terms of detail. Like I think there's been a few, especially recently, like design wise, where it's like, well, like that's pretty incredible. I don't know if I put this quite up there,
right?
But it was nice. I want to say one thing I just noticed looks like there's some 4x4 quarter domes in there, which has been a piece that I'm pretty sure they stopped making for a little bit. So hopefully that's some good news, because that piece in gray is freaking ridiculous. That's kind of what I initially noticed.
Hey, what up, Shy? So, I mean, the number one question when I first looked at it, and then I looked at it for another couple seconds and it was answered, but it was like, does it fold? Doesn't fold, right?
Definitely not. No.
That would have been rad, though, right? I mean, like, look, we got the Mario box. You know, I mean, it was a little history of folding items. You know, I don't know. Like,
no, if this was a foldable set, it would be like the books, like the story books they do, and it wouldn't be able to have like this much detail. This is really
I
cool.
I don't think folding would have been worth.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
but the 18
cost me a little fold. I mean, am I asking too much here? What are we doing?
I mean, who would ever display it closed? I guess is my question.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fact that it's just different from the normal Disney stuff, like usually it's relatively like to the point stuff. I think it's cool. I'm not getting it, but I appreciate it.
Jennifer Brewster checks in and says it's ugly.
Dang, and she's excited for the new movie too. Wow, she's
were you saying JD's look to be like a light gray brick? Is that what we're seeing here?
Well,
I was saying that the 4x4 quarter domes in light gray are like super rare. So to see them in white again gives me hope.
Oh, okay. So are the mockers going to be looking to pick those up on bricks and pieces potentially?
Probably, possibly, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
To be fair, it's a blurry image. Jennifer, come on.
If it did fold, it would be a giant Polly Pocket. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like the story books. Yeah, like the storybooks that are like $20 or whatever.
Well, here's the issue. So I know our Disney fans in this chat, and I'm one of them too. We're getting a lot of meh and eh. And I think even Holly, I can see Holly's comments here in the chat, you know, would have done better off the original, yada, yada, yada. The Disney fans aren't feeling it. And what's scary, guys, is I don't hear anybody say, because of the price for once, you know, they're just kind of like, they don't like the set. That sucks. That's too bad because, you know, I think people could think of like 100 other $170 Disney sets they'd rather have, unfortunately.
I mean, I feel like
give me $170 Up House and then give a $60 of this thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I get it. Dude, they got a movie to push.
That is a great point, Sean.
Thanks, man.
No, seriously. Like they got a movie to push, sure. So you would think
cheaper
that
make it accessible.
Exactly. Yeah. You would think it would be the other way around. You would think that the new Little Mermaid set would be the $60 set. The Up House is classic. I have a friend. I found the Up House
brick adjuster. Yeah.
I found the Up house early. I was fortunate enough to get it early, and I have a buddy who is such a big fan. He's got an Up tattoo. He's got the house on his freaking leg, just tatted on his leg. So, like, it's way more iconic. Well, I don't want to say more iconic because The Little Mermaid is classic, but this is based off the new one. So, you would think that they would give the Up house the bigger budget. You know, Sean, you agree, obviously.
Here's kind of what I'm thinking. So with Up, like Up is really kind of like a first of its kind type deal. And I mean, it's, as nice as the house is, I think it'd be kind of risky putting out a high price point one for the first time around. Whereas with Little Mermaid, there are many like lower price point options, and this is pretty much the first, like, I'd say very detailed set that those people have gotten. So I think this kind of fills maybe a void that was there. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of speaking completely out of my element here, but I will say there is it's not like, oh, like if I don't get this, I'm totally out of luck with Little Mermaid. Like there's so many other cheaper options that Lego does make for kids. So I can kind of see why they maybe want to do something different with this, as opposed to just putting out play sets that might get lost in the mix with the other Little Mermaid play sets they also do.
Yep. And I think your hardcore mermaid fans are going to buy this, right? There are, I'm sure, still Reddit groups, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's mermaid gang out there that'll buy this. I just don't know.
Mermaid gang.
Well, you know what I mean? Like
this
the
is based
BTS
off the new one, right?
BTS Army, but smaller. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who live for this movie. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, people who live for Star Wars. There's people who, to a smaller degree, live for Little Mermaid, and I think they're hoping it brings all the boys and girls to the yard on this one. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Like, look, my review again. Visually, it looks okay. It does look cluttered. It does look messy. Yeah, no, I'm a Disney guy, and that's why I'm like, man, I would have liked to have.
So,
I don't love it.
Question,
but, you know, if I see it 10 times, I might start liking it. It's like hearing a song. You know how it is. But right this moment, I'm not loving it.
So right this moment, you're not day one, is what you're saying.
Oh no, sir. There'll be no day one.
All right.
This is coming out in a few days, by the way, I think.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Wait, actually, a couple of days.
I think it's May 1st. Let's see.
That's not a couple of days.
No, but I mean, it's not like we're seeing something from September or something. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, a couple weeks, couple days. Yeah.
Same thing.
I guess my point in saying that, Jay, by a couple days is that I'm sorry, but the Mermaids, even if I love this set, it's got a lot of competition on May 1st. So being that I don't love it, I'm glad I don't love it, because I'm already going to be spending on the 1st. So
okay. I mean, we definitely got to have a May the 4th first conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Sure. Well, I mean, in terms of like, you know, I'm trying to save money for Brick World. And so I'm like only buying stuff if I see a crazy deal, or it's like, okay, I'm probably going to get stuff for May the 4th because I want the promos or whatever. But, you know, definitely trying to save up for Chicago for sure.
Yeah.
I think Trevor sums up my sentiment with this set pretty well. He says, Lego is just making too much, TBH. Every new release either gets a lot of hype or gets lost in the sauce of the other with the rest of the 18 plus line. That's kind of how I feel. It just feels like another big thing that there's just so much. Like, it's so much.
So, all right, I want to take us back. Jay, you were there. I don't know how many of the rest of us on the panel were there, but you were in the Lego space, either working there as a fan. But when the Treehouse first came out, for example, this thing's still out. What was it, 17? It's been out for a minute. Like, that was a pretty big, release, right? And so, like, what am I saying? Like, it feels like that was like the de facto big set maybe for a little while for a lot of folks, but now they're coming out with those like every month. I'm trying to think of a better example, but like now, like the big Treehouse style set is coming out like feels like week now, but certainly every month. Like, did it used to be like
every other day? It seems like there's another leak for another
300, 500,
which is ridiculous.
So, like, has someone pulled the data, Jay? I mean, just off the top of your head, did it used to be like there was only, was there even 10 sets that were $300 a year, like maybe 6 years ago? Yeah.
Look at the like top 10 like biggest Lego sets, like,
and they're all the last 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, there's some that are still kind of up there, But like, yeah, I mean, yeah, the UCS, the original UCS Falcon was at 500, and that held the top spot forever, basically until the newer Falcon.
Yeah.
And now there's a few like I can't even name all the sets that are more expensive than that original UCS Falcon that have happened, in the past few years. So
right. There wouldn't have hasn't been many. Yeah, before that. Macro, don't be bad mouthing the tree. No, I'm not bad mouthing the treehouse. I was just picking something that was maybe a couple of years ago that would have because what Jay had mentioned was things are getting lost in the sauce, and there's some $300, $400, $500 sets lost in the sauce. Like there was some obvious like Hulkbuster, but it's like
Black Panther bust, Hulkbuster, like those
train.
things would have been like the Harry Potter train. Oh my god. Like those things would have been like such a big deal. All the stadium sets they do as well. Like those things, all of those would have been like such a big deal back in the day, but now it's just going through the motions. It feels just another thing.
Next,
yep,
exactly.
Moving on.
All right. I think we all agree with that. But Max, did you have any thoughts on this thing?
Yeah, it's cool. It's not me.
That's why he's the best in the biz, folks. Yep. All right. Next, can we get to the? All right, what is this thing? It's Ideas Tales of the Space Age, $50. I think this is a small boy, Brent, but I like the color palette. Shout out to Miami kind of vibes, like I like the neons and whatnot.
It's cool. It's like a brick sketch for space, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
Postcard size each. What are we looking at as far as
like a brick sketch? It's like kind of how the brick sketch is.
Brick sketch the sets. Okay,
that's what I mean. Like a brick sketch, like they do for Star Wars and other random stuff. But like the space, it's cool. But I just I don't really buy too much of the art stuff myself. I do wish I bought the Star Wars one because I see the custom Star Wars mosaics do of like Anakin and Luke. And I'm like, shit, I wish I should have bought some of those. But, this kind of stuff is cool. It's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
It's still sick, though.
It is pretty cool. I'm not going to say it's not cool. I just,
Is this got some 3D elements to it, too? It looks like kind of like the Van Gogh.
It does.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
The footer.
You can see it's kind of just like stacked plates. I mean, Jay, you can probably tell what the building techniques they're doing there. It's just like stacked plates and bricks to create the colored part, and then some snot going on there for the other stuff.
Yeah, there's some 3D stuff in there, I guess.
He's bored to tears. Let's move to the next thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care about this thing. It's cool.
I think this set is symptomatic for me of a bigger problem with Lego Ideas. Like if I was someone who spent so much time like designing a really cool thing for Ideas, and I was fortunate enough to make the review round, and then this is what ends up being a Lego set.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Yeah. See that? Yeah.
There's so many more imaginative, fun things that they could put out as sets, but it seems like there's, especially now with the adults welcome marketing, they're so quick to just pander to the what can we set up in some artistic person's Chipotle looking apartment.
Hey, what is more artistic than neon space cards? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like it just like,
wow, look at this. Jennifer Brewster, this mystery woman, Jennifer Brewster. Go ahead and read that one, Brent. What do you see?
Sorry, I was muted. She said Mother's Day would be fine in the fire in the dining room. You're saying you like that space set? I wouldn't expect her to like that. She's like, now don't get me wrong. Like my wife is definitely into the botanical stuff.
Oh, it's your wife. Okay, I didn't.
Technically, her username on here is Brewster, but she is a Bowers.
I'm kidding.
Well, whatever. No, it is. I just now realized that. Anyways, but yeah, I'm surprised she likes this space set if that's what she's talking about.
I think so.
She's mostly into the botanical stuff, all the flowers.
Yeah, she didn't like the mermaid, so I think that's what she's talking about. All right, what's this minifigure thing, Max? We'll spend 2 seconds on it. Is this like
it's a book, new fig in this one?
Harry Potter Lego Encyclopedia. There's a woman. Her name's Rita.
It's just those books you get at Walmart,
Yeah.
Great.
In the book section.
Right. Fantastic.
It's about
All right, Brent, you're gonna have to get excited about this because I just can't. What are we talking about?
No, that's
here?
fine. Go ahead and click on this. This I've known about for quite a while. It was leaked a little while back. So they did a $20 Expecto Patronum set maybe 2-3 years ago, and it was cool. I bought a bunch of them because in the scene there's a bunch of Dementors flying around, and it was kind of a Dementor battle pack, if you will. Like I think 2 or 3 came in the $20 set, so I bought a bunch of them. And to see this, it's probably going to be, I don't know if they're going to go like diorama style with this, but I would expect that this is going to have a good amount of minifigures to fill the scene and be something pretty sweet. I'm excited for it because, like I said, with the $20 versions, I bought a bunch of them just because it was good pieces, good minifigs.
Yeah. I live in Chipotle and I'm offended, by the way, from your comment.
I apologize to those Chipotle inhabitants that I've offended.
What?
Chipotle to get that deer again. There you go. All right, Max, does this do anything for you as a man? This set?
No.
Come on,
only
it's the best. It's
only the Goblet of Fire sets do something to me.
Goblet of Fire.
Yep, that's my favorite.
Are you basing that off the movie?
Yep.
Max, have you ever read the book? I hate to be that guy right now.
Does it look like a read?
Yes, it does.
You're so cool,
student.
Max.
You're a college student, Max. Come on.
Doesn't mean I read. I don't think I've ever finished a textbook alone in college.
Does it look like
education system? Let's go.
Yep. He's just playing baseball, finessing the system.
Yep. People bragging that they don't read in 2023. I mean, I think nobody does, Max, but nobody talks about it.
Listen, the Goblet of Fire is
kind of one of those things that, like, so actually your favorite book, it's like, oh yeah, I have those.
Well, there was a viral thing going around where some guy put that on some girl and all she did was name a bunch of movies, So she's like, oh, I read Fire and Ice and all this stuff. Anyway.
Back to the Future is my favorite book, guys.
Yeah. Back to the Future is my favorite book that I can get done in 2 hours anytime that I want.
Yeah. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and Ice.
All right, here we go. Battle of Hogwarts. Does anyone care, and why should they? Here we go.
Yes. I'll tell you.
Heart that comment.
No, this is cool because they don't do very many sets from the last book or last few movies, the Deathly Hallows. They don't really do this a lot, so this is cool. This is a perfect example of this, Sean. They just came out with the Death Star Final Duel diorama set, even though they've done a few play sets before in recent years. Right. This is the Harry Potter equivalent to that. This is the big battle at the end. I am assuming they're going to make this pretty cool for $85. It'll be a cool, very similar to what they did with the newest Death Star Final Duel. It'll be something cool like that.
And for Harry, it's going to be an 18+ set.
Is it? It doesn't say if it's 18+ or not. Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't. I think maybe, but
it's not for 85, right? I mean,
what, 18+? I mean, it doesn't have to be.
You're saying the only Harry Potters that were 18+ are Harry Potters have all been girthy boys that are 18+, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they haven't done the dioramas yet.
True.
It'd be sick though.
Well, this is in my head. Jay, I know you like play sets. I like play sets as well, but I just feel like for $85, I feel like it'll be like somewhat displayable, because if I'm thinking of it in my head, like maybe it doesn't have to be like actually have a black border like a diorama, but I'm thinking like, okay, here's a good example. Think about the like the $50 Darth Vader Obi-Wan set that came out from Kenobi. It has like some built ground or whatever, some like built up terrain, and it was $50. So I think maybe it'll be more like that, like a battle scene. But
Jay, where were you at on the diorama thing? Like
I'm all out. No,
yeah, more. Because it takes out play sets, right? That's the problem.
Out.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we can when we talk May the 4th, we can get more into it. But that is the gist. Yeah.
The gist is you're robbing play sets and it's like, from what I see here, I didn't see the films yet. Still working on that, Brent. Still on part 2. But I'm looking here, and it looks like a wasteland of a battle that took place in at Hogwarts, obviously. So it's like,
Yeah, it's kind of a
you'd
spoiler
have
to you right
present
now.
that in a little square or something if it was a diorama. And I think, like, to Jay's point, like, it'd be cool if you had, I don't know what, maybe a dilapidated, maybe the building's in ruins. I can kind of see something there, like some kind of broke down version with the dudes all shooting their wizardry all over each other.
So,
Whoa.
I mean, this picture, like, assuming they're not
Using
going to
their
do
wands
exactly,
all over each other. Yeah.
yeah. Well, like, assuming they're not going to do exactly what this picture is showing, there is a lot of stuff that happens in the Battle of Hogwarts. So this could be really anything from that. Like the Battle of Hogwarts is like, I'm trying to think. It's like the end of Rogue One, where it's just like 30 minutes of just like battles going on, war.
Sure.
And so this could really, this might not exactly be what that picture is. There's a ton of different stuff it could be, but we'll just have to see. So I'm excited because it's $85. If this was like $40, $50, I'd be like, it'll be whatever. Because they did to Max. Max brought up Goblet of Fire. Max, do you have the Voldemort's Resurrection set or whatever?
No, I wasn't into Lego.
Okay.
Or that was like the end of my dark age.
Yeah. Well, if you like Goblet of Fire, that's a cool one because it has has like the baby Voldemort, like when he drops him into the pot and starts doing the.
That's what I thought about buying.
Yeah, there's a baby Voldemort. I have the set somewhere. It's so funny.
Like I still need the dragon. That's one I need still.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, that's dope.
David Treese. Jay, I'll let you handle this one. Are these grown-ass men saying they're mad about less play sets and more sets targeted towards adults? Bruh.
No, I like a good mixture of both, for sure.
Like a true adult, I too like to build a nice rose set on a cold winter evening and set it on my table and then casually stare at it for the rest of the evening.
While your photographer shoots it at you?
This is the true essence of Lego. This is why we built. Bro, you're watching a podcast about toys. Like, come on.
Treese is just messing with you. He's a good guy.
Dude.
Means well.
I'll tell you what.
Means well.
Nothing like...
Oh, good. Even though, like, and it's no shame on anyone if you want to, like, play with your sets, but I only like play sets I like the way they display personally. Like, my kids can play with them, but I'll play with them. But like, I haven't done the pews and all that.
If
people want to do that, like, no, good on them. I'm not.
No,
again,
it's fine.
I'm not shading anyone. I just think they happen to make for more interesting sets I think they make for more interesting sets because they're not confined to these, like I said, these cubes. So I don't know. I like that they sprawl.
No, the cool thing about like play sets can still display in a cool way. Like one of my favorite play sets was a Ninjago set from like 2021 or something. It was called the Gamers Market. It was $30 and came with 9 freaking minifigures. And it was just cool because it was like just like a little, medium-sized build, but there was a bunch of like weapons racks and there was all kind of accessory. And it was just like, dude, like that's, could you imagine if there was a $30 Star Wars set that came with like a bunch of minifigs instead of like...
No, I can't anymore. I know. Awesome. David, it's all good, man. Hey, I'm just happy I responded. Really cool. He pews with his Falcon, so
you pew with that Falcon, man.
Fair enough. He doesn't like the way play sets look. Look, David, I agree with you. Some of the side builds on some of that stuff I'm not a fan of. I do like it all like in one tight unit, but I just don't like it confined in this cube, like I said, in this square. Example up house. I like, just give me the house, I'll put that on a shelf. I think there's like a little, which that's not a really good example, but there's the mailbox separate. I don't like the little tiny side builds that come with everything. They aggravate me to keep track of. But I know it's blasphemy to some people, but that's how I feel.
I mean, so just to go ahead and rip the 18 plus band-aid right off. Here's my biggest thing when it comes to it. The notion that the diorama sets are so much more detailed than play sets, I feel is just ridiculous at this point. You will be hard pressed to find anything that's more detailed than like the $25 Speed Champion sets that are actively aimed at 9-year-olds. Thus,
Yeah.
the lines are blurred at that point. If Lego wants to make a very nicely detailed looking playset, they can do it. Like I said, look at the Speed Champion sets. Look at the Inquisitor Transporter scythe. Like, I would say those things are pretty on par with Mox. Like, the notion that just because it's 18 plus means it's like inherently cleaner and more detailed, it's all superficial. Like, it's all just a marketing ploy to get you to pay more for something you would have paid less for anyways. I guarantee you, like any of the Speed Champions cars, they could market as 18 plus premium race cars that are highly detailed models and charge $50 for it as opposed to 25, and it probably would give the same impact. So I'm not buying that just because it's a diorama that inherently means it's more detailed. If they want to make a detailed playset, they can do it. Look at the $100 Galaxy Explorer set. Like, there's plenty of examples that aren't just like 18 plus sets that show clearly what Lego can do when they really want to put their mind to it. The 18 thing is just a ploy to add a black border and multiply the price times 2. And that ultimately is the issue I have with it.
All right, that's fair enough. We have Sean the wrong way. We gotta have the play sets for the minifigs too.
That as well.
Look, I feel like they do break off more minifigs with play sets than they do for these 18 plus dios. That's I think a fair assessment, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So
I like the dioramas,
Jay,
but I've not even bought one yet because I'm like, I'll get it on a discount.
Here's something I've always said, Brent. You'll have to remind me. The Avengers set. I think it's still out now. The Final Battle. What is it called?
Yeah, something about Final Battle.
It's Jay, you know the end game Final Battle. Yeah, it's got the end game Final Battle. It's got the Ant-Man van. It's got the little white building and like what is it?
Big Thanos.
Yeah.
That set in a lot of ways, like I was trying to figure out why I was like digging Lego so much, and I was a couple years into it or whatever when that came out, and I was like, this is why, because for $70, which I think that set's like 40 something everywhere right now, so if you guys need it, get it. But this is what I like about the play set argument versus dioramas. So we'll go with the full retail. Was it 60 or $70? That's fine. Where else for 60? And Lego's overpriced, right? Okay, sure. And it is a lot of times, but on stuff like that, I got to argue. Okay, so if you were to buy the 6/8 minifigs, who makes them? Hasbro, Mattel. I know they're bigger, higher quality, but follow me here. 6 figs, $20, $120. Do they even sell that van in these other toy lines? Probably not. Maybe somebody does. I don't know. You got the van.
You got a bigger final van out there somewhere. I'm sure.
Okay, perfect example. That's even better. Thank you, Jay. Pop vinyls of all these, boring. Pop vinyl's dead or it's dying. But you got these 6 boxes and these cubes on your shelf. Okay, you can get the van, Jay. Maybe the van's a little more of a premium. Maybe that's 20 because it's a little bigger. Okay, where are you going to get that building? Pop might make one, but it's small. If Mattel or Hasbro, again, whoever owns the license on the Marvel Universe figures, Marvel Legends figures, if they were to build a Endgame battle, was it Avengers Campus or Avengers HQ, whatever the hell it's called? You get what I'm saying? Like, we're looking at $200 and $300 to recreate that scene, and it's taking up more shelf space. Whereas you can go to Target right now, probably, and go get that whole scene for $60. And that's what's so cool about Lego and play sets, is that you can get whatever it is, 6/8 figs, a vehicle, a really nice one too, a building build, great, the main villain and all the good guys, and like go to town. Now, whether you're an adult or a kid, and if you're an adult and you don't want to play with them, that's all good, but nice selection of figs. Set that on your shelf.
Right.
That's what I love about Lego, is it's the only place where they do a set right, you can get a lot of characters, yada, 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 all in one set when they're not being super stingy.
So
that's my rant on that. So
I want to go ahead and I want to go just because I have like a very clear example where you can see this. I always give all my action figure collecting friends crap about this because I think Lego, especially for Star Wars, is just the ideal scale. A recent example you can use is like Hasbro released like a 3-inch, like 3-inch scaled N1 Starfighter from the Mandalorian, and it's like $130. Whereas like you can get the Lego N1 for half that price, and you get figures that actually come with it. Another example is like the Hasbro Jabba sail barge was like $500, and I mean that was retail. Like you're paying like thousands of dollars now for it, but like the Lego, like you can get a playset with Lego that's pretty comprehensive. That comes with a bunch of figures for like, you know, what was it, maybe like $120. So like when it comes to getting comprehensive like play experiences, when it comes to not just the characters but also the environments and the vehicles they might be using, like there's nothing that can compare with Lego.
That's right, and we're seeing less and less of it, Brent.
Yeah, so there's a good comment I want to bring up before I forget. But TJ was saying like if they remade Palpatine's arrest, that it would just be a diorama and only come with Mace, Anakin, and Palpatine. I can 100% like see them doing something like that versus like if they just made a play set and we would actually get, you know, everybody that was in the scene.
They're supposed to be using this Bricklink data though, and that set is what, 700-800 sealed?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's just hope they wouldn't do that, because if they do, I don't want to, you know, get too.
They'll go one of two ways. We'll get a diorama J, or we'll get a. I guess people would be thrilled about a Master Builder actually.
If it was a Master Builder, would be too big.
Is cool because that's basically just a big playset. So
yeah, no, but I'm saying that would be like $400 even if they did it for, you know. I'm just thinking about Mos Eisley, which they don't.
Yeah.
It is just like a big office though. Is that too small to be? It's like Palpatine's arrest happens in like a big office. Is it big enough to be a Master Builder?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he could ever be a Master Builder. Yeah, probably not. But like, I'm just trying to. I'm just saying, like, they could. This is what's wild, though. Is they could make that set with the just as Jay laid out. And that was a brilliant call. I think we could all see that happening.
Right.
But they know that if they made it 200 and similar to the other one, it's gonna fly. You know, and it's just crazy to me because, again, people who wanted one, they're like, I'd love it, but it's 700-800. I'm not doing that. So everyone will buy the $100 one, sure, but I bet a high percentage that would go 100 that really dig that would go 2 on the more substantial one.
I mean, you know? All I want, and this is all I wanted as a kid, and it's all I want now. I just want all the Jedi that are in the scene. They can make it. They can make it a play scale, or they can make it a play set, or they can make it a diorama. But hopefully, you know, to TJ's comment there, if they do make it a diorama, if they just give us all the figs, like just make it right, give us all the Jedi that were in the scene, and I'll be happy. But the original set is dope, though.
I just realized something, guys. We jumped right into this, and Brent, we didn't show any love for.
We didn't shout out the chat at all. I'm sorry.
So guys, we're gonna get right back to this discussion, but before we do, we got to shout you out. The most important component each week of a couple of Brickheads is the one and only Girth Gang.
Oh, we got our music back.
It's back, baby. Let's do it. Brent, shout him out.
That's Girthy.
Yeah, what up, Seattle? I don't know if I'm cutting out the music when I talk still.
You're fine.
But we're gonna do our best to shout everybody out. We got Brickmania US or Brickman USA, Giovanni, Macro, Stud Sidious, what up, Stud? Just Bricking Around, Felix, Oldendorf, Blank Carving, Calvin, Amanda, Rich Boy J.
Yo,
Moments of the Magic. Let's see. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Norton, what up? I know Brick Hive was here earlier. I don't see his name, but what up, Brick Hive? There's TJ. Boom. I had to scroll way back, way behind the comments. Todd, what's up, Todd? Old Guy Brick. Shout out to Old Guy Brick. Chess 98. Darth. Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling so much. I'm so far back in the chat, but thank you all so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Comic Bricks, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. Cooper, what up, Cooper? Devin Reinvented. Hey, I remember you from last time. Thanks for coming back.
Devin,
appreciate you. There's Brick.
Hey, Deck Okoye. I'm mid girth. Hey, dude, that's all right. It's still listen. Girth is girth is girth. You don't need. Listen, it's all good. For those of you that are new,
so far back in the comments,
resist the urge. There it is. All right.
Trevor.
So
There's
sorry about that,
Shine.
guys. We should have got to that earlier. My
You
bad.
had to scroll so far back. Everybody that's like still here is like, you didn't shout me out. So
This is a
I
fun.
had to
This is a
scroll all
fun.
the way back.
It's a fun discussion.
Disrespect.
Max,
Mayo.
what's
All right,
your
I'm getting all the new ones.
Max? What is your opinion on this topic? It's an interesting one. The dioramas versus play sets and a similar price point. Obviously, what do you? Would you rather put 90 on a nice play set, or you rather have a diorama boy? What do you think?
See, I like a mixture of both, but if I were to choose one to have for the rest of like Lego, yeah. But like I like the way the dioramas look. They're for surely overpriced. But I also need those minifigs in the playset. So it's like you can't have one without like missing the other. You kind of go hand in hand. But it's a nice change, I think. But the problem with the dioramas are they're overpriced, and you could probably make the same thing out of mock or pieces from like out of mock. But I don't know. It's a tough topic to talk about because it's like
I heard that Jay once made the trash compactor mock on the way to the store to pick up the trash compactor mock. Is that true, Jay?
I wish, man. Nah, I mean, look. I mean, that set on itself. It's 4 walls and some random pieces in the middle. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just not buying that the dioramas are things that couldn't adequately be accomplished with playsets. Like, it's all just a marketing thing. And I think at the end of the day, I look at it like, okay, like if I kind of put myself in the frame where, you know, if I was a kid finding my way in the world, learning how to navigate life's ups and downs through my play sets, like what options would I have going into the Lego store? And especially with Star Wars, like there are fewer options that are becoming available. And I think that's just ultimately like where as a business and as something that purports itself to be, you know, a toy company, I think that's just unacceptable. Like there just needs to be more diverse price options for kids. And the dioramas, I feel, are kind of an excuse for Lego to say, I mean, we can make a $40 set for kids, or we can double the price, make it for adults, and make more money off of it. And yeah, I get, like, sure, as a business, you know, I can understand the benefits of that. But yeah, it's still like a kid's toy. And like, to what extent are we willing to sell out the brand values and the nature of Lego to make as many dollars off of AFOLs? Like, I think that like that line has probably been crossed. And like about Lego, like it definitely it gives me less of it. Like I don't want to have to pay, you know, what, $80 for that indoor set where, you know, I got just as much out of the play set that was like $25 not that long ago. Like, it's not fun.
I can't believe that indoor diorama is $80. That's crazy.
Some of them are offensive, and we'll do a May the 4th preview with you for sure, Jay. But that one offends me almost in the way of the
just $80,
the trench run and the trash compactor. They just they're offensive. You know, like you could argue, and I think Jay, when we talked about them previous, correct me if I'm wrong. If you had to pick the one you liked, like you thought Yoda's was okay, right? You thought that one was
that's the one that I have built.
Okay.
The Jago one.
Yeah, I think universally everybody likes that, and I think, and spoiler for me, I think 1A for me, and I want to see it in hand. But the reviews have been very positive, and from non-shills, by the way. The final tool and the final, you guys know I ride for JHAE. That's my and to be clear, we're talking Return of the Jedi, but you know that's my favorite movie, one of the probably the best scene, yada yada yada. Like, that's coming home. I don't care. It's overpriced. It's dumb. It's whatever. But like, I don't have a choice. I got to get that. But it happens to be, I would have bought it even if it was a little worse, because that's how stupid I am. But I think it turned out really nice based on what I've seen. But we'll get into that in more detail. So yeah, I think everybody's right on this one. You know, it's a lot of matter of personal preference. A lot of folks in the chat seem to be writing for dioramas. Brent, is that surprising to you? There's a lot of diorama fans out there. You're muted. Brent, are you surprised by this at all, Brent? Or Max, sorry?
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Max.
I'm not too surprised given our demographic on our show.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
But
I mean, yeah, when you're preaching to adults, like, yeah.
yeah, but I think the general population, at least for like the last 5 years, ever since like COVID, all these new like AFOLs getting back into
That's a good
Lego
point.
are missing like those play sets. And the dioramas are like a good like change of direction, but they're
Is
always
this like
gonna
better
want
if you bring a girl back to the crib, you know? And you're just like,
You're like, this
Yeah.
looks elegant and like
it's the black border. They like the
It's
black
less
Looks like that.
embarrassing. But I
is
feel,
this what's
see,
happening? Hold on. Let me set the table.
it's less embarrassing.
Yeah, girl. No, come back to my crib. Yeah, come on back. Oh, that there? Nah, girl, those aren't toys, baby. No, that's a diorama. You gonna do this or what?
yo,
Because
you
oh,
need
no,
to
no.
see the box.
that over there, your ex-boyfriend, he played with play sets. You see, it went outside the black box. That's different shit. What I got here is more sexy. It's more appealing to the ladies. It's a diorama. Yeah, girl.
18 plus.
It's 18 plus around here. We don't do any of this 9+ Avengers campus bullshit. No, we don't do that. No. Just give me a couple of poorly built trees and a couple of Endorians. We'll call it a day around here because that's what I'm all about. Yeah.
And that right over there in the corner is my $350 Black Panther bust.
See that, girl? Now let's go get some McDonald's. And see.
Oh yeah, that over there,
That
the
is
Eiffel
all my
Tower.
money.
Is that what they're
Lego.
saying, Jay? Is this you brought the girl back to the crib and you say, no, diorama. They go, oh, okay. Well, I'll do stuff with you now. Yeah, okay. All right.
I can imagine a girl comes to your house and she sees like a stack of like boxes near the trash, and she's just like, his Lego boxes were so colorful. What kind of child was I there with?
You know what though? Like nerddom has come in so strong now. It's like I don't know. Girls are definitely doing stuff with guys with like rows of figures in their house. So I don't know if they care anymore.
No, I mean,
I mean,
it's gotten so much better than it used to be for sure.
What to be a nerd? Oh yeah, it's like they've tried to whatever
I really wish like being a nerd became cooler.
capitalize on it.
Well, I just really wish like being a nerd became a cooler thing earlier.
You're
in
telling
my
me I'm
life.
44, man. It was hard to
Well-
hide the freak flag.
Well, the thing is like when I went into my dark age, man, it was like I was like even getting out of sports, and all it was like I just want to skateboard and freaking hang out with my friends and listen to music and hang out, and like I just wanted to be like a grown up so quick. And then like it's like, oh wow, I used to have a bunch of Lego and Pokemon cards, and then I just didn't really care about it anymore, and I let my mom just give it all away.
Dang,
But
Trav.
yeah, that's my dark age
Shout
story.
out to
in
market.
15
Shout out to
seconds.
marketplace. Shout out to marketplace moms on that.
Yeah, Facebook moms.
All my old Lego went to a school, so shout out to the kids that are enjoying the OG Harry Potter wave.
No,
But yeah,
I
man,
feel-
I wish that being a nerd was more accepted more when I was younger, because then I would have just kept all my cool stuff. But
Shout out for Brickscene for saying he'd do me. That's a high compliment. I appreciate that. I mean, how could anyone resist if I took him back to the crib and just gave that explanation? All right, dioramas versus place. I think we're good, right? Debate closed. It's whatever. It's all good. Is there any more juicy Falcon bits, or are we starting to get into old stuff there, Max?
Kind of the old stuff. There's the Hogwarts Express, the more expensive one, and then some of the newer Star Wars stuff that we got a couple weeks ago.
Jay, where do you want to go? Do you want to jump into this Force Awakens retro review, or do you want to do a little May the 4th? You're the guest. We can do one.
I'd
before
like to
the
do
other.
May the 4th first because I want to end the
Okay.
stream on a happy note.
Okay. Here we go. All right. So, Max, can you please queue up Lego.com using their amazing search feature and show us the sets that are coming out for May the 4th? We're going to get Jay's expert commentary. Now, Jay, I got to ask you, we already know Grand Mock Tarkin, all that stuff, king of the mocks. You got to get a world heavyweight mock champion. Are you buying many sets? Or are you like, do you still buy sets and display them? Or are you just like, where are you at on that? You do both?
Star Wars at this point, I buy pretty much any set that has a minifigure in it. So
Because
no
you're going for the full fig collection, right?
that I say that first and foremost. And two, like, I mean, some of the builds are cool. Like something, I'd say it's been a while since I've actually built something, but like there's the occasional thing that comes out where I'm like, I'd like to just play that. And then also, like, I like building in general. Like, if there's ever a time where I don't have the ability to be buying Lego sets, I'll for sure have a lot stored away to be able to enjoy them.
All right, well, let's get into the J the Fourth preview.
The fourth. Let's go.
I mean, I had to come up with something. All right, let's get into this X-wing right off the rip. I would love to hear Jay's thoughts on this. Jay, for the record, I'm all in. I don't have the 2013. So if anyone wants to bash me, that's fine. But here he goes. Here he's gonna rich flex on us. Here we go.
Rich boy flex.
Jay, can you do something for me? Can you rich flex on me? Oh,
Rich
here we
boy
go.
Jay, can you do something for me?
Girthy boy.
21.
Show that 2013 X-wing for me.
All right, there he goes. All right.
Better days.
So, Jay, are you going to be the guy, the old Lego head that's going to go, we just got this thing, and it was 10 years ago? Are you going to be that guy? Where are you at on this thing?
No, not at all. I feel I'd have enough foresight to understand the necessity for certain things to be reiterated constantly. Like, I think about it this way, and I think about a lot of things in the phrase of like, how would someone who just got into Lego Star Wars perceive this? If I'm a fan and I get into Lego Star Wars, certain things should just be easy to get. X-Wings, TIE Fighters, Millennium Falcons, etc.
Correct.
So, like, yeah, if you're a long-term fan, it seems like you get them a lot. But those are just like Lego Star Wars staples. They're kind of like the police sets of City. They just need to be easily accessible. And I know it's not like the most glamorous thing, but like some things just need to be accessible. And I'm not going to complain about X-Wing because it's the most popular Star Wars ship, and people deserve to have it if they're just getting into Lego Star Wars.
I'm glad you have decency and common sense, sir, because some people think that a swamp tank or something needs to fill all these
swamp
UTS slots. The Clone Boys are vicious on this thing. We just got this. We need a season 4, episode 3 K9 cruiser with a tangerine clone boy in there. Screw the X-wing. I'm just
uptake in his liege of dark saber troopers.
That's right. We have lean troopers. Now we need orange crush troopers, and we need lemon meringue troopers.
How can I fill out my base plates of minifigures if they won't give us this battle pack?
That's right. I need a variant of the 145th Legion. Remember when the guy said what that one time? We need his vehicle.
Yeah.
Macro's got their actual.
Macro says this one sucks.
So, Jay, will you be picking this up, or are you good with your 13 edition?
I mean, I didn't really like the set at all, to be honest.
Oh.
And I don't really like the new one at all, either, to be honest. I think maybe the front half of this with the back half of that might make a somewhat decent looking X-Wing, but I expected a lot more from that set. Not a fan at all. Just looks kind of messy in a lot of places. I think, and that's not just me. Like, that's not Grand Moff Tarkin talking. Like, I think the playset X-Wing looks better than this, which is kind of ridiculous. I think the main take back for me on the new one is the fact that they're still using the same cockpit piece. It's just the wrong shape. It always has been and always will be. And as long as they keep using that cockpit, the entire shape of the thing is just going to be thrown off. So that, like, the moment when we saw pictures of this and I saw they're using that cockpit, I was like, oh, it's kind of doomed at that point. On a more positive note, I do like the minifigure in it. That's the main reason I'll be getting it, which sounds like the most ridiculous thing ever. Mm-hmm. But whenever we first heard rumors of this, that was what I got excited for. I did want to see finally X-Wing pilot with dual molded legs and arm printing. So
there you go.
That excites me about the set. The set itself, I was actually very excited to see kind of how they do a big X-Wing in 2023, and I don't think they lived up to it. I feel like, and this is something I've mentioned before, when it comes to like the design and detail on these sets, when it comes to the big sets, like Star Wars used to really be a trailblazer when it came to like design and ingenuity. And I think that now you compare the Star Wars sets to a lot of the other sets at similar price points to like UCS sets. And I feel like those are just far surpassing it in terms of like the creativity they get with trying to accomplish angles. And like, it seems like with Star Wars, they just take the most basic approach to everything. Whereas with other sets, you'll see a little bit more creativity. Like I think the DeLorean set, for example, like it's so clean and seamless. And like, I think that's a good example of like a $150-$200 set where like, yeah, like some like really interesting design techniques were implemented to make something that looks really nice. Whereas this X-Wing just kind of feels like the person was like, oh, let me just do another X-Wing with some small improvements. But I don't think they really dive deep in the technique box to come up with something that looks stunning.
So for me, the only two things I'll call out is the 13 engines look a little small. These look a little big. And then God bless, could we like poor R2? Why can they not figure out, Jay, even in the what was it, Brent? 21? Was it the 21?
Right here, yes.
Yeah. You know,
So,
he's like jumping out the seat in that one. This
the
one
thing
is too low.
I've even lowered mine a little bit, and he already. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to.
Yeah,
really
you
see that very
fixed
well.
yours. You fixed yours up, and that's the other thing. Jay, just quick sidebar. Do you like this new smaller play scale, or did you prefer the prequel sized boys in the X-Wing, like that scale? Where are you at on that whole thing?
I think it kind of goes both ways. I think my general thing is like, I don't think in the playset necessarily needs to be the most detailed thing, but the proportions are important. So with the X-Wing, I think proportions are pretty great, honestly. Now with the TIE fighter that complements it, the wings are like comically small for the cockpit. So that's where I'd say it goes kind of the wrong way. So there's a fine line you need to walk, and I think the X-Wing is like the good side of that, and the TIE fighter and the Slave One I think are kind of the bad sides, because I understand the value of putting out a Slave One out there it's relatively cheap. I can see the benefits.
But should it fit in my pocket though? That's the only problem.
Right. I think some vehicles I think in Star Wars just need to be big. Like Star Destroyer just kind of needs to be big. Turbo Tank needs to be big. Public Gunship needs to be big. So yeah, maybe more people aren't able to get it, but it is better for the system in the long run. So
I like any X-Wing, dude. I even ride for that 4+ resistance X-Wing. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I do have that. Okay. I do think that Poe is unique to that set. At least I hope he is. And I got it for $10. Oh, great. Well, it was $10. I had $10, and it was a very nice time with my daughter. So
yeah, as long as you're
I stole the fig. She swooshed the X-Wing. We're all good here. I think JHAE summarizes, I think, a lot of people's sentiments on this, especially with the influx, Jay, of the COVID fans, whatever were being labeled. And I was in it a little before that, but still, I'm looking forward to getting it. I don't have a UCS X-Wing yet, and I think for a lot of people, Jay, that's what this is, right? I mean, what is the 13 right now? But Brent, sealed. Are we talking a 6 boy, a 5s? Where is it at?
It's got to be up there, I assume. I mean, it's been 10 years, so
for folks, this is their shot at redemption. I think a lot of people are hoping, Jay, they get a shot at that glorious Slave One they made. What was that? 16, I think.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah,
legendary Slave One.
I feel for people who want that one too, but the reality is, people are new to it. Jay, you said it. It's the peanut butter and jelly. It's whatever you want to call it. The ham and cheese sandwich. Eggs and toast. You got to have your X-Wings and your ties. All right, this is going to happen.
Well, it's like the.
I'm sorry that back to back. I do feel bad, even for the clone boys, that we got the Luke's land speeder last year, and then this thing, and I get that they're kind of pedestrian, and the play sets have been done to death on these, and I totally get that. But guys, just a reminder, like, you can't say Lego's super money driven and then not expect them to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, oh, they're just after the money. They're jerks. They're after the money. Now make me a obscure Clone Boy vehicle. It's like, well, they're gonna make the obvious thing, and you're getting your comeuppance. It seems like with your Venator in Q4. So I think everybody can eat, and so let us old heads
the tides
enjoy.
are turning.
Let the old OT guys have a couple more days in the sun with our dumb
2025 is coming. 2025 is coming. They're going to do a whole wave of Revenge of the Sith stuff.
That's my thought. You can't have it both ways.
A whole wave of Attack of the Clone stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Attack of the Clones didn't do as well as Revenge of the Sith.
Awful.
It doesn't? What?
Here we go.
Revenge of the Sith? I mean,
in terms of play sets?
I'm talking about the movie. No, I'm talking about the movie.
Oh, okay.
No, the source material.
In terms of Lego, I think there's a far bigger clamoring for Attack of the Clone stuff.
Oh, no, for sure. I just meant the movie.
Okay. All right.
And the fact that 2025 is going to be the 20th anniversary.
Jay, while we're on the topic, real quick sidebar. What will sell more during its life? The Venator or the Razor Crest UCS?
I guess rumor says they're going to be the same price.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. I don't know what you can comment on, but let's just hypothetically say the Venator was to come out somehow, some way. Lifetime. What moves more units, the Razor Crest or the Venator? In a theoretical world.
It's hard to say. I feel like in general, the Razor Crest amongst today's Star Wars audience is a more marketable thing.
Sure.
I think it was a very big misstep to have it come out when it did, because
too early.
I know, too late.
Too late because it blew up.
It blown up. Yeah. I mean, as much as it kind of shouldn't matter, I think a lot of people did take that to heart, because, I mean, I haven't watched the show, but from the show seems to pretty clearly just move past it. So I think that has it working against it. I'm the Venator is obviously any Star Destroyer looking thing is going to do pretty well, I think. However, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Right.
I'm gonna say.
I'll make this easy. I think the Razor Crest is going to at least 5x that thing, and it's not even going to be close.
Really? The Razor Crest? No way. There's no way the Razor Crest is going to sell 5 times as more as the Venator. There's no way.
That's how I feel.
There's no way.
I think anything's going to be close.
I think I'll go with the Razor Crest.
But it'll be close.
Is the first, does the clone aged people have the money to back this up? Because I think that's why they think.
Yeah, that's
they do.
there's all these.
We've talked about it. It's nothing personal. They're just holding out.
No, but this is the thing. I like the UCS Razor Crest, but I have the play scale one. The thing is blown up. It's not even technically relevant when you're watching the current new show that's out. And I get it. They were planning to make that set and they didn't know that they were going to blow up the Razor Crest. I get that. But what I'm saying is the Razor Crest is cool, but it's such a new thing. And at least the Venator has been around for 20 years in terms of Star Wars canon or whatever, for as long as we've known about it. And think about any set that has a clone in it, man. Aside from the UCS gunship, I get that wasn't selling like crazy, but that had so much controversy around anyway because of the minifigs. But think about every other clone set that has been out in the recent years. People always are going to buy clone related stuff. I think
critical to UCS.
Sean underestimates the clone fans. He does.
I don't
know about that.
A little bit.
I don't. I think. Listen, here's my take on the clone fans on this. Again, if I'm in the boardroom, Jay, if I'm at corporate and I'm looking at things, I think clone fans have shown up for the smaller sets. I think the gunship has been a dud.
Absolutely.
There you go. I think the gunship at $400 is where the rubber meets the road, and I don't think it has. Besides the initial pop, I do not think that thing has done what's expected. So Clone Boys, you really need to show up for this Venator. I'm telling you, because
the thing about this, if they
made
a play,
there's no qualifiers, Brent. If they don't show
there
up,
is, because if they made a play scale gunship, it would have sold out so much faster. And think about how much that would have been. What
they're doing that, right?
Well, yeah, but it's not gonna be the same exact gunship as the UCS gunship.
Right.
It's gonna be the help me out, guys.
It's going to be red, whatever.
It's a
it is.
different variant, and there's not as the Coruscant.
It's going to be the 462nd. I don't know, whatever.
No, it's the Coruscant Commander
Bro, Sean
gunship
has
or
the
something.
best opinion on the Clone Kids. I love it.
Well, it's just
Hold on. What I'm saying real quick.
Jay, and by the way, to be clear, let me look into the camera here, guys. I don't hate the clones. I don't. I in fact, these guys have made me appreciate it more. And by the way, Jay, I'm going to try to get through the Clone Wars series. That's such a slog. But for the first, I'm in the first.
Force yourself to watch it. Don't
I know.
You're
I
not
love you for
missing
that,
much.
Jay. I love you for that, Jay. But I need to because these guys are talking about things that I don't fully appreciate.
You're gonna finish it, and then they're gonna bring up, "Oh, do you remember this random thing from random season?" And you're gonna be like, "I don't remember."
Jay, as you know, I'm a old school wrestling fan, so I can remember when, whatever Ultimate Warrior wore these particular outfit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get why they do it.
You were invested in that, and
I was 10 years old too, but still.
Yeah.
Well, let's cycle back a little bit here, Sean. Like, I know.
But let's change the set. This picture is boring me at this point. It's making me not want to get this extra.
That's fine, but I have to bring this up.
Get something else up there.
If they would have done the gunship in a play scale, like $140, whatever, it would have sold like hotcakes. And people, clone fans who care about army building, were definitely going to buy more than one of those, which would equal buying a UCS set. But when the UCS set is lackluster and has crappy minifigures, then like no one's going to be fired up to buy it. I mean, think about it. Did the UCS land speeder sell more than the gunship? I'd like to see those stats.
I think so.
probably.
I would like to
For one reason, Brent. Two reasons. It's half the price. Number one, roughly.
Okay, different.
Number two, it got wider distribution. Number three,
It's on Walmart.
way more original trilogy fans than what happened to Max. Did the internet get him finally?
Oh shoot, my battery died. Keep
Okay.
going.
I feel like people are overestimating. Like when you're kind of in isolated. I wouldn't say isolated. Obviously, you experience what you experience.
Hey, look
But
at that. Max has me as his avatar.
I know what the.
I just want to be like you, Sean.
That, the people who. Okay, if you're thinking most people are going to buy multiple gunships, you're just wrong. That's not most people are going to get one, and that's it. Same
Yeah,
thing,
not most, but like
not even like a significant portion of them are going to get multiples. Not
You
even,
mean of the play scale?
yeah, of a playset one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the case when it comes to
Yeah.
most things.
Jay, you're in this world, right? You're in this world, and I think you're friendly with a. Well, it doesn't matter. We don't have to call out name. Well, we'll just say like a David or something that has. He shows off this glorious stash of 12 gunships for his mocks. You're around this. A lot of dudes aren't pushing that kind of weight. That's what you're saying, right? Like it's a 1%er kind of thing. That's even on a play scale. Besides investors and that kind of stuff, and even that's a small percentage. I think people think investors are bigger than it is too. 95% of people are going to be single gunship owners. Is that kind of fair to say, or is that
so?
Absolutely.
Well, all right. So how many? What's the percent of Lego fans that are buying the $600 sets? Anyways, like if you can afford a $600 Venator, you can probably afford to be buying like multiple, ATTEs or.
Well, for a lot of people, they don't. But we live in this bubble where there's army builders and this kind of stuff. But I think what Jay and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jay, but most people are like, cool, I got 2 Praetorian guards and I'm at peace with that. I don't need 90 of them. The people which that's a bad example because they don't really roll like that. But my point is like
50 Praetorian guards.
I do. I need 50 petroleum guards. You know what I mean? Like we really. Hey, those spiked this week because they showed up on a certain show. I don't.
They are cool. They are cool.
Yeah. But my point is, like, guys, we live in this bubble. You got to remember, like, Lego cares first and foremost. Again, I'm going to bring him up. Little Timmy.
Oh,
Shout
out to Timmy. No particular
Shout out
Timmy.
to Timmy.
But Timmy going down the Lego aisle with mommy at Target says, give me that one. They care about that more than any of us nerds, just to be crystal clear. All right. Executor Star Destroyer. Big news here, Jay. Not so much the vessel, but the fact that it appears MIDI is back, at least in this set. Is this a test? Do we feel like we're maybe going to get a MIDI line of things? Evaluate this one for us, sir.
I mean, I think if I mean, what 18 plus set has happened in a vacuum? I think, like as with all the other styles of these sets, they come in waves and lines and series. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a thing.
Okay.
Do these MIDI scale stuff kind of fall into the same category in your eyes as like the helmets? Like
Does
don't
it
really have much,
replace-
don't really have much interest
I
in
think
them?
this is slightly more interesting than the helmets,
Yeah.
but still kind of in that same vein. Like,
Yeah.
Dioramas.
I think it might
Right.
just depend on what the vehicle is, because like for like an executor, like I can understand like your options are like, you know, a giant one, or this, or maybe a playset, maybe, probably not. So I think this kind of justifies itself a little bit more, because not everyone wants a giant one, and maybe not everyone wants a playset one. So I think there's some value in this. For my particular interest and the price, this ain't it.
Do you think someone was in the boardroom going like, you can get laid with this one, but not the UCS one? Like,
If they walk in and see a $600 set,
we're all
looming
married.
over-
I mean, half of us, I think, or you know, Jay, I don't know your exact situation, but like, you know, what I just again, I couldn't imagine in my wild days bringing a girl back and be like, oh, be careful, don't touch my UCS Star Destroyer. You know, like, I don't know. So
I mean, like I said, man,
sexier, more accessible.
if
Star
I
Destroyer.
was like, you know, 18 years old back in like 2013, and like, well, I guess being a nerd by then was acceptable. I don't know. In today's day and age, you can get by with having a UCS Star Destroyer and still getting girls. If anything, she's gonna be like, "Oh wow, how long did this take you to build?" If anything, she'll be impressed.
She's
But,
gonna be
you
like,
know,
you should be on that one show. Oh my god.
yeah, you should be on Lego Masters. And it's like, I used instructions. Yeah, but still, you're so talented.
but
It's like
still.
they tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah, but
I
see,
get
some of those guys would be like, oh, let me show you Clone Wars season 2.
I don't like sand.
Denied. All right. Brent, your thoughts on this, or how you feel? We're gonna be, by the way, we're gonna be saying your thoughts on this for the next few weeks.
Your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on
What, I mean,
so
like, where are you at this week on the MIDI Star Destroyer?
I'll give you my quick take. I think it's I'll give you my quick take. I think it's cool. I think to get all the promos on May 4th, you got to spend like $170 anyway. So there's probably another set that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's another set we're going to talk about that's $100. Combo it with this, and you surpass the threshold or whatever. So I might pick this one up along with another one. But yeah, I like it. Part of me is like, it'll probably be on rollback though at Walmart for like $55 or something.
I'd probably just get rid of the little toothpick micro builds. I just hate those, man.
Do you?
Yeah,
I think they're little advent calendar builds.
I hate them on the trench run one. I don't like these little. I mean,
they're.
So you wanted the trench run to just be greebling walls with no
It's
shit?
gotta have some. Yeah, it's gotta have.
No,
something.
I'd rather do a $300 trench run with like a girthy boy X-wing. You know what I mean?
Boy.
I got a groupie in the chat.
Here's his groupie. I like your Legos, Brent. Very hot.
Yeah, see, I got married and I have so many Legos, dude.
Well, this
I'm kidding.
place is trapped.
Well, we started dating when I was not fully back into Lego yet, so I'm wondering if she still would have, because like we met, like I was having a get together at my apartment is like how we kind of met. But I didn't have necessarily as many, nowhere near as much Lego as I do now. So I'm like wondering if like 5 years ago when she like strolled into my apartment, if she saw like the sea of Lego and these giant.
Jen, are you still out there, Jen? Jen, if you're still there, can you review like how much Lego Brent had versus now? I'd love to hear that.
I only had a few. And they weren't on display. They were like tucked, hidden somewhere in my room, my bedroom.
We need a story time.
I don't know if old guy Bricks is in here, but shout out to old guy Bricks. You guys should check him out. So he has managed to sway his wife. I don't know if she was like a flat out hater, but he swayed her to the dark side. And Brent, we talked about it, and Girth Gang, let us know if you want to see it. But I want to do a Lego Wives show,
dude. Yeah. Dude, I've gotten Jennifer.
Brent will get Jen in. I'll get Ash in. We'll get maybe another, married couple for the panel. I want it split between the the husbands and wives who do this stuff together. I think Ross and Emily would be interesting. Like, but my wife like tolerates it to. She did at one point say this is my favorite hobby you've ever gotten into, but then the boxes arrive. There's only so
No, so Jennifer brings up something funny here. She says at the time that she came to my apartment that night, not too many Legos, way too many pizza boxes. Granted, I had roommates.
By the way, Jennifer's making us say Legos way too much right now.
I had roommates. Oh, she is. Wow. It's Lego.
But
But no, Jennifer likes the dioramas a lot. She's really into the flowers and stuff, which is cool to see.
Jay will just swoosh away. He doesn't care.
Swoosh.
Bro, I'd be
living in his own world.
Little Grievous Starfighter.
Yo, let's go.
Wife doesn't mind, but she doesn't like when I go to the pab wall. Moments, I've seen your vlogs. That's all I'm saying.
That's where to go alone.
Moments had one of the greatest all-time moments. I hope you don't mind that I do this, but one of the greatest all-time wife moments in one of his vlogs. It was awesome. He's like, we got so much free stuff or something like that, for spending $160. She's like, it's not free. He's like trying to sell her on why it was important to spend a couple $100 that day to get the GWP because they gave him a free thing. She's like, it's not free. It's really funny. We have similar conversations here. Okay, so Max, your thoughts on this thing? I mean, it's a thing.
I like it. Definitely. Maybe picking it up with a couple or maybe one other set for May 4th
to get the promo,
little combo for the promo. So we'll see how my opinion changes over the next week or two. So definitely going to pick it up sooner than later. So yeah.
Jay, it sounds like it's a promo hitter, this thing. I mean, that's kind of where people are at.
Imagine if we had like more play sets, man.
Yeah,
facts, man.
The fact that it's just like, well, I need to hit a threshold, so I guess I'll get it, as opposed to, oh man, I want to get this, that, this, and that.
Yeah, like have you noticed that, Jay? Nobody's excited. Nobody's excited about buying this. They're like,
that's what
I'm saying. Like
I know that's what you're saying. I'm just now picking that up. It's I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you like it, but not enough for day one. But there's not really many options. I
mean, I do want. Okay, like I have enough of the helmets that I do want to at least collect them. I know, Jay. I know this is gonna disappoint you, but like I already have so many of them, and I do feel like on a single shelf on display, they look pretty all right. But
that is.
I think. Listen, I think a lot of them are good, but some of them suck.
Seeing helmets on a shelf is that for me.
Like, no, I feel it.
Like I see someone's like shelf of stuff, and I'm like, oh man, Lego Star Wars, let's go. And I see that, I'm like, oh, okay.
You just got some like helmets and stuff.
It's just it is. So I mean, my feelings about helmets aside, it is pretty wild to me that like I could have a conversation with Lego Star Wars fans in modern day, and like our interests could just be so divergent from each other.
True.
Like if there was someone who was just like, oh man, I love the helmets and the brickheads and that new mini scale Star Destroyer, that thing is incredible. And it would like as someone who considers himself a Lego Star Wars fan, like that like we could not be further from each other. So it's just kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like before I got fully back into Lego, I had a buddy that worked at FYE, and I would get like posters.
Bro, that's a throwback.
Dude, I just had a Snapchat story the other day, and the same buddy I'm talking about, I was like Snapchatting him from like outside the window, and I sent it to him. He's like, dude, FYE. I'm like, I know, dude. Like it's a freaking Goodwill. Like, it's shout out to Goodwill, but FYE was so cool. Anyways, I used to get like pop vinyls and like posters and just cool stuff for super cheap, and I've kind of always liked putting stuff on display. So I guess that's I have a little bit of a soft spot for dioramas. I haven't bought any of the dioramas yet, and I'm collecting the helmets, but I try to get them on sale. But I do like the display stuff. But I get the playset thing, man. We don't get enough of them, and I love them. And
What was
come on, man.
FYE before it was FYE? Like Sam Goody? Or
Sam
something?
Goody. Yep.
Okay.
Sam Goody. Yep.
I that was my second job ever.
Dude, it used to be such a just literally the house I'm living in. We bought my grandpa's house, and where the FYE was, it's like right down the street pretty much. And
I sold the hell out of some CDs back in.
well, yeah, man. Well, it used to be so fun to just like after school with my buddy, just like walk to Taco Bell, get a little snack, and then walk over to FYE with no money to buy anything. But we'd walk around and like scan CDs and like listen to CDs and like look at headphones that we couldn't afford and like look through movies.
That's how you had to experience. Well, I think like
Garrett, thank you for coming back, dude. Yeah,
and this is kind of why people like. I think like kind of mall attendance has gone down recently. Is like you can look up a review for anything ever, like before it even comes out, and basically form an opinion on it. Whereas back in the day, like if you wanted to like see how something was, you had to either know someone with it or go look at it in the store. So I think like it's totally a lost art of just having to go just look at stuff. Like,
oh yeah, it was a very demanding job for 525 moments. Yeah, for sure.
525 is crazy to think about.
Well, it was crazy because I was like 18, 19, and they gave you these sales targets. This is before I knew I was a sales guy. I had no idea, but I would just get so amped about it. They'd tell you to push this, that, and the other thing, and accessories and whatever. And I was just like smoking all the old dudes, and they all hated me, and I didn't know why.
Dude,
like, this is the job. They said, like, we got to push Daft Punk this week, so I'm pushing Daft Punk. They're Daft or Punks. It's a lot of fun. Let's do it. And like, there was like
FYE used to be so cool because like it still because as movie stores went extinct, like your Blockbusters and things, FYE still had that vibe to where like when a new movie was coming out, like they'd have the merch. They'd have the Blu-rays and stuff on like they'd have like a display for it. Whatever, Sean, the terminology for the the retail stuff. But when like a new movie comes out and there's a whole display of it right when you walk in the store, it just gave you that nostalgia.
PDQ.
Right, exactly. Well, it gave you that nostalgia of walking through like a Blockbuster back in the day or something, and then when new stuff comes out. So, yeah, man, it's cool that every. Go ahead,
real quick. You got me onto something. It reminded me of. You know what's missing right now? The one thing that brings boys to the yard physically still.
Clones, yes. Come on.
You say Hooters?
Yeah.
Hooters brings the boys to the yard.
Hooters has good food, though.
You gotta go in person for Hooters. That's true.
Bro,
I don't know if anyone's ever
going to Hooters for the food.
I don't know if anyone's ever DoorDashed
good,
Hooters.
dude.
That's a great point. Has anyone ever gotten delivery Hooters? I don't think
Hey, listen. Jennifer and I don't know if my wife is still here, but her and I on our honeymoon, when we were on our way down south to a cruise, before we got on the cruise, we stopped at a Hooters and had dinner, and it was awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
We both had a great time.
Very romantic.
Yeah, dude. It was awesome.
No, but one place where I think they're missing the mark on merch, and this was this new ACOB time is missing me up. I'm so sorry, man. I'm on the East Coast now, and I can't do the 2 a.m. rides. And by the way, Richie, I believe you were like falling asleep on some of our previous.
Yeah, man, we do this for you guys that are falling asleep on the stream.
Yeah, you were very yawny, so I think you should enjoy this.
Yeah. You'll get used to it.
One area, Jay, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. This is pop culture-y nerd fans. Do you think that movie theaters could do more with merch? Because people are showing up in person. They're very fired up about it. I know we get the popcorn buckets and we get the collectible cups, but do you think there's opportunity to maybe slang some of that merch at the theater? Because I do. I mean, I think that could be a really cool business. I don't know if it's Lego. It's a little bit rich, but like maybe a limited edition, Jay, maybe a little limited edition, hold up, bear with me, a limited edition Rise of Skywalker Before You Knew It Would Suck t-shirt as you're heading in. You know what I mean? Like
a concert.
All I can think about is the sound of 1,000 studs pouring onto the floor in like a movie theater, like while I'm trying to watch, and just some guy
ripping open poly bags.
Fine, let's get Lego out of it. I was trying to do a tie.
Yeah, but t-shirts and stuff this is all making me think about being 6 years old when the Phantom Menace came out. The merch was everywhere. My dad worked at a radio station and freaking brought home a life-size cutout of Jar Jar freaking Binks. And it was just so awesome to just have in our basement. And every time you bought Pepsi, it had all the characters on it. the freaking Phantom Menace toys were in like 4 fast food restaurants at the same exact time. It was just, and leading into the Force Awakens, because we're going to be talking about that wave, of course. The Force Awakens stuff was everywhere, and for me to experience that again as an adult was so cool. Just to see the merch everywhere, it was awesome, man. And it was around Christmas time. Like
to piggyback on that, it's so funny you mentioned that. Me and my friends were doing like a deep dive into just Phantom Menace stuff in general. It's kind of getting a vibe of the era because I was only I was like 4 years old when the movie came out. So my mom took me to see it because I wasn't even a Star Wars fan. Like it was like if you were like a boy who was able to go to a movie theater at that time, someone probably took you to see that movie. It was very much like the original Star Wars. Like everyone just saw it. But yeah, like they made just so much merch for that movie that like even to this day you can find so much of it for dirt cheap
for retail.
So overproduced. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. So I mean, if
also the movie, like again, we're all like, people are, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, but it objectively sucked at the time too. But we don't need to go all the way into that. Okay. All right, let's zip through these. We're going long on time here. We have to get to Force Awakens tonight.
Oh, we will. We'll fly through the rest of these.
And we've already heard our thoughts. So Jay, maybe we'll just get your takes on the May the 4th. We're going to be doing this for many weeks here on a couple of Brickheads. Endor, Brickhead.
That 4 plus set's a play set. If we want to talk about a play set,
it's not till June. Let's get to the May the 4th.
It's not May?
It's a July set, actually.
Or July. There you go. Brickheads, Jay, any commentary on this? What do we...
No.
Okay.
I said,
all right. Let's get out of there.
Basically
Could be a
falls
GWP hitter. All right. Let's get to the main event. I think this is what Jay wants to talk about. Scroll up. Let's get to these dioramas.
Are they pre-order?
Why does it? Oh, probably. I don't know why it doesn't show them on this page.
That's weird.
Just have to go to the Star Wars tab. They'll be there.
Shout out to Lego's search. Yeah,
Lego. You organize your stuff so good on your website.
That is probably the way to go for.
That's all right. We'll wrap it up. We're gonna switch the brick set for Force Awakens, but let's.
Okay, so the snub comes out in the microfighter, and then
All right, do the snub real quick, Jay. Snub. How are you feeling about the snub?
Well, we already know Jay doesn't watch The Mandalorian.
All right, so
I'm gonna guess he doesn't give a shit.
Kick rock, snub.
It doesn't look bad, but I don't know. Like I have no opinion. Like it doesn't look cool. I don't know.
It's sleek.
I guess
it looks better with the windshield down or with the
sleek means sleek is a nice way of saying cheap.
It feels weird to say, and this is probably my worst take ever as a Star Wars fan. But I feel like the Mandalorian sets are too consistently gray, and I know that sounds
they really are.
Like because Star Wars, I get it. But
good call.
The last 5 Mandalorian sets all look like they could have been alternate builds of the same set,
like a 3-in-1. Yeah, they're all part of a 3-in-1.
So I don't know.
Snub next.
The spider thing also like it's.
Nope, that's not till like July or something.
Oh, the spider's not. Oh, okay.
It's an August. It's an August set.
Oh yeah.
All right, Throne Room. I really want to hear Jay's thoughts. He's a known diorama hater, but I want to know what Jay thinks about this thing.
I don't like it.
Okay. That it, or is it on the better side of the dioramas? Will you at least give it that?
I mean, the window looks interesting, but for $100, like bro, the Galaxy Explorer is $100. Like $100 for this.
Galaxy Explorer is $50, but yeah.
Like no, not like this. That's absurd. I'd much rather. I think the nice thing about this set was we finally got a comparison of what does that $100 playset look like versus $100 diorama of the same like.
Oh yeah.
I think the playset kicks the set's ass. Like the playset is so much more interesting.
At least the playset comes with
comprehensive
the guards.
Like, and the playset doesn't look bad. Like I think the playset display is very well actually.
All right.
So I think this is really where I like
draw the line.
I kind of have my gripes about the dioramas because the playset of this I thought was so much better. Like this has a somewhat detailed window, but like $100, bro. Like that's ridiculous.
So let me ask you this, Jay. Are you? I believe the only exclusive fig is the Luke because of the new hairpiece. Are you just gonna like bricklink that fig or something, or are you gonna get the set for the figs and scrap the pieces for a mock? Or
He's
I
gonna
wanna
buy it.
say- I want to say the Emperor is also unique to it.
oh, he's got new
Face,
eyes.
his
Yeah,
head
yeah,
is headpiece is right. Yeah.
But so yeah, I'll get the set. I'll get the set for the figs.
There you go.
Okay.
Jay gets a deal
I
too.
would say, and on a positive note, that new Luke hairpiece,
It is pretty sick. It is
That's
pretty
good.
good.
I've been wanting
Yeah.
Luke to have. I think he's needed that for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is
I would probably put it on an Empire Luke as well.
I'll be coming home with.
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do because Luke qualifies. I'm sorry, Brent. The X-wing qualifies me for everything. That'll be purchase one. If I can get the Fam
Okay.
Jam to go, I might cobble together the second 170. You see where I'm going with this?
Oh,
And then-
so order the X-wing at night and then go to the store.
I think so.
Separate
Who
trip,
wants
yeah.
to wait?
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. If I bring my wife, we have the dueling VIPs. You know what I mean? We could do a quick 1-2, buckle my shoe, and I come home with everything.
Oh,
But
okay.
this all depends if we
okay.
can get out on a
So-
Monday. We'll
So
see.
here's a quick question for anyone that can answer this. Jay, I don't know if you'd be able to know this off the bat, but if you did like a bricks and pieces for the set, could you just get that Luke hairpiece?
Oh,
They don't,
They don't.
because they don't let you do Star Wars minifig stuff in bricks and pieces, right?
right.
So
That
if
sucks
if
because-
they consider it licensed, then no. But like some Star Wars pieces start off as unique to Star Wars, but end up being used in other things. Like
Yeah,
Finn
yeah.
hairpiece, for example, that was the first time they'd ever made that hairpiece, and it was unique to them for a bit. But like once it kind of expanded, that is a piece you can get on Pick a
Okay.
Brick.
So yeah, that's a good
as
point.
for
So,
here, I know with new elements, they have like a 2-month thing now where like nothing new will show up like until 2 months after release. But
Yeah.
if they don't consider it to be something that is specifically unique to Luke, very possible. Very possible.
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We said we'd zip through. So Throne Room. Let's go to Endor. I want to hear the comedy on this one.
The figs are just not good either, like too, which is another thing that's just a kick in the head for that set, dude.
Wow.
$80.
All right, Jay.
got the footprint of-
Jay, a rookie. Let me give you a scenario, Jay. A rookie mocker comes up to you, and you're at Brick World. You're putting together another legendary performance for yourself. You are the grand mock after all. And well, you wouldn't be a jerk, so I don't know if this is a good scenario. But if someone's like, "Dude, check this thing out," like, what would you say? Like,
That's like,
You know,
like good
it's
job.
cute.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
all
cute.
right. I know that's I shouldn't have framed it that way. You're not going to be a jerk, but
Oh yeah, here's like.
All right,
like,
what about
I will-
this?
I will
This
crap
is-
on
this is
Lego
one
sets
of-
all day because
this-
I know
this-
adults get paid to do it. But at the end of the day, like
this
if
is
someone
okay.
comes
This is
to
a
me-
more elite mocker that you could be brutally honest with. It's not a boyo. It's one of your guys you've been doing this
Man.
with for 10 years, and he shows up with this and goes, "Check it out, bro." Like, what are you saying about this?
I'm just like, I mean, you didn't really try. Like, that is honestly just a mess. Like I'm trying to. I really am trying to hold back.
I know. I'm trying to make this interesting. I'm sorry.
To keep it simple, I think like this is really where like the dioramas show just how much of a joke it is. Because you can't tell me that they could not have achieved a play set of this quality for half the price. So like this is really where I'm like, okay, the debate about the dioramas are the only way we get mock quality. Like, no, like nah, I disagree so hard with that. And I think this is so evident of that. 2 speeders and 2 trees and a ground with some random foliage for $80 is just unacceptable.
Max,
Yes,
can we
black
get the
border.
video, Max, can we get the video, spin it around, and let us see the butt on this thing real quick? I just
See
want
the
to.
butt
The
on
lack
this
of
thing.
butt.
Yeah, let's see the lack of butt. Let's see. And there's the back.
$80, bro. Holy, like
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
it's sad. The best thing about this says the Scout Trooper.
The Scout Trooper has black arms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, but the thing is like
That's my commentary.
the Luke and Leia figs are just not good. Like they,
Jedi bricks. I'm jelly, man. I've got those in my sights right now, man. Because it seemed like I thought this year we're going to get those things again, and we're not. And I don't have those yet, Jay. I need the indoor bunker in the Ewok Village. I'm waiting on a deal.
I do have it. I still have a Ewok Village sealed, actually.
We're friends, right? Or what's going on?
Hey. I don't depend on what you think about The Last Jedi.
I hate it. It's the worst movie of all time.
Well, there goes your Ewok Village.
Oh yeah, Ryan Johnson. That's right. I'll actually we could talk about this. There's some things I like, but I hate what they did to Luke, and I'm never gonna even
Just
even if I
around says
double for the Ewok Village. I'm gonna take that one.
Nuanced and interesting.
I'm gonna take that to the grave. So I'll pay you double retail for Ewok. It's fine. All right. Okay. Any other May the 4th? I'm excited to get into Force Awakens. Let's switch stuff up.
Okay, I think the top. So, given what we've said, who here is excited for May the 4th?
The promos could be better.
Okay, outside of promos.
Well, I mean, like that's part of it, though, Jay. I mean,
they
it's
should be better. We should have got another minifig.
I just like are the promos good? Are the promos exciting?
Not really.
All right.
This was way better last year.
I mean, Baru is fire. I'm sorry. I'll say that. I'm blue in the face.
That's probably one of the. I think that might be my favorite May the 4th promo.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, because everyone's riding for a Revan. All these people are riding for a Revan and a
just give us a minifig. Like,
I mean, I love Revan. Like I love. Like,
I know I'm not shitting on Revan, but if Revan came with a cool little build like Baru, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So did I just knock another 50 off the Ewok Village, or okay? All right, Max. Do we have brick set pulled up?
We do. I'm gonna share screen.
All right, guys. It's time finally. Get into the JHAE Awakens.
The JHAE Awakens.
It doesn't rhyme, but we'll run with it.
The boyos awaken. The Force Awakens. The boyos awaken.
Holy!
I'm going to combine two things here.
I think we can all agree, though, on a quick side note, that a Dex's Diner promo, just like Baru, would be way better.
Yeah, we're
the fact that people actually thought Dexter's Diner was going to happen.
No
like, come on, guys.
Dude, I like this weird clamoring for it. It's starting to pick up.
It'll happen.
There it is. It's not
all right. Do we agree?
Like, it doesn't use prequel stuff anymore, guys.
I'll get rid of this.
All right. Let me set the table before we get into this horrible looking website. Did you log in yet, Max?
I have. So I had the Bricklink one pulled up, but this is Brickset. It's fluttered with ads.
Yeah, if you log in, it's a lot cleaner. And maybe put dark mode on, just a shout out.
All right.
Before we get into this, this is what I'd like to do tonight, boys. So, in addition to retro reviewing the wave of Force Awakens, I do happen to think, Jay, that similar to, and I think we touched on this when you were on a couple weeks ago, but if not, quick refresher. I do think a similar effect is going to happen with the sequels that has happened with the prequels, in that the nostalgia, the rose-colored glasses, my daughter, who's 5, who thinks Rey is fantastic, is going to eventually have the required income to start buying UCS sequel sets. Whenever it starts, it's like, you know what? It was actually pretty, that sand stuff was pretty cool. That stuff's going to start happening with the sequels eventually, where they're going to start saying that, what's his face was a really great actor and all this stuff. And it's fine. Okay. And I'm talking about Hayden. He was terrible in those movies. You guys can do whatever you want to do.
He was so much better in 3 than he was 2.
That's fine. And that's what I'm saying. You keep doing these qualifiers. Like, at least Adam Driver was pretty much.
He was
Adam
better
Driver.
than awful.
Yeah.
Good job, Hayden.
On the strength of perhaps Kylo Ren and Kylo Ren alone, which I think universally, even the most ardent sequel haters will say Kylo Ren is one of the most interesting top X Star Wars characters of all time. If anything comes out of that, it's going to be Kylo.
Bro, he got beat by Rey and he was untrained.
It's all good.
Yeah,
people are still going to. I'm just saying, people ride for Kylo, whether we like it or not.
I do like Kylo.
Okay.
Probably the least.
But yeah, you recognize that people ride for Kylo. You recognize it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
give you a hard time.
No, I don't know. Please do. This is not, again, most of this isn't how I feel. It's just I'm taking the pulse here.
Yeah.
The sequels are going to have their day in the sun again, whether we like it or not. And so we're trying to get ahead of it right here on a couple of Brickheads, because as we pointed out, guys, we are 2 short years away from the 10th anniversary of Force Awakens. And so before we get too close and before we get into, I think by all accounts, the sequels of the sequels, which Jay rides for Jedi, respect. Disagree. It was beautiful. It was beautifully shot. Story was trash. And then, of course, the mess. I think universally, everyone is not a fan of Rise of Skywalker. Force Awakens, in a lot of ways, gave all of us a new hope, so to speak. I think when that came out, I think a lot of people, in retrospect, started reverse shitting on Force Awakens. But for the most part, people were pretty amped about this. And they did, Jay, give it a similar treatment to Phantom Menace, in that the merchandising, the Force Fridays, the shit was everywhere on that. And so what I'd like to do as part of this, because I was not into the hobby at that time, is in addition to going over these sets, I want you guys to like walk me through the hype at the time, like what you were feeling at the time, Jay. Like because at that point you'd been collecting retreads for many, many years. This was correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty fresh new IP outside of some of the animated stuff. But we all know the movies really bring the boys to the yard. Walk me through like that whole experience at the time, the hype train. What was people thinking was going to be a fire set that ended up being trash, and vice versa? Like, I want to get those weird details in addition to the feelings about the set. And so as we go through this, thank you so much, Max, for cleaning this up. Are these polys, or what are we looking at here?
Yeah.
Let's get into real sets, unless you guys feel like you need to touch on a poly.
Well, I want to go to the polys for a second.
All right, here we go. All right.
I think that they kind of help paint the picture.
Okay.
So looking at the marketing blitz this movie got, and something that I think is really a lost art now with Lego Star Wars is number one, Toys R Us still existed at this time. And I think that impacted me pretty heavily. I think like Lego's partnership with Toys R Us, I mean, it's unlike any of their partnerships with pretty much any other retailer, insofar as like they were much more willing to like give Toys R Us really cool like poly bags or even promos to do like in conjunction with Lego stuff. So like just looking through these, a normal person would be like, oh, they're just poly bags. But at the time, it was a lot of fun to go like hunt down poly bags, especially for the new movie, which we knew so little about. Like it was cool to go to Walmart and find this, or go to Toys R Us and find that. Especially with the C-3PO minifigure, like that thing was insane. So it's kind of weird to look at these now, because like I can't remember the last time I went anywhere to look for like a Lego Star Wars promo that wasn't, or a poly bag that wasn't like the Lego store. So just the art of just these little extra bits of just stuff to kind of get you excited and kind of help like manifest the fandom, I really feel we're lacking now in the TV era of Lego Star Wars. Another fun fact thing, Max, if you want to click on the picture of the First Order Star Destroyer.
Yep. I mean, 1 second.
I never got any of the poly. Well, I got the poly with the.
So one interesting thing you'll notice
cool
is that in the background of this poly bag, there is a Death Star from the original trilogy, which obviously wouldn't have existed at this time. So for all the big deals that are made of box blunders now, and people who like to claim like, oh, like Lego is clearly not paying attention and they just don't care. How do you let such a mistake happen? This has been happening for longer than your favorite set. It's not an agenda. So, yeah.
But I did notice during, I don't know if during the Force Awakens wave, but was it purely just a purist Force Awakens wave when it came out, or did they blend some other IPs?
It was a pure Force Awakens wave.
Yeah.
So this was back when we got 3 full waves. So this just would have been the summer wave of sets that came out.
Got it. So they weren't doing this thing where they'd toss like an additional X-wing and or I don't something, an A-wing.
The only thing that came out with these was just the Advent calendar. I think that was the only not specifically
Force Awakens
thing that came out.
Okay. All right. So, Jay, thank you for setting the table. So the feeling at the time, some of this was Toys R Us exclusives, some of these polys. So that does, I'm sorry, I tried to skip past them. This is the kind of detail that I'm looking for. So it was exciting just to get a sniff of something that you couldn't get anywhere else. And so was the hype like absolutely like outrageous for Lego Star Wars as it was with everyone else?
Oh yeah, it was
normies. Yeah. All right.
It just I can't even explain. Like
Poe's X-Wing.
Insane.
Like I remember I just remember like this was for sure like the peak of my Star Wars fandom. Like the amount of Star Wars content I consumed at this point. Like I was just trying to listen to podcasts, watching. I was very particular. Like I didn't want spoilers. I was very particular to not avoid spoilers, but I tried so hard to tread that line to just get as much content about it. Like I started watching this one podcast. It was like the what was it called? It was like the Collider, like Jedi.
Yeah, Jedi Collider. Yeah.
Yeah. And I watched that for so long, pretty much starting out here, and it was actually really cool because the guys on the show,
like Christian Harloff,
premiere.
Yeah, like
so like, and they like report some stuff from it. Yeah, Christian Harloff. I think John Campia was still at the time.
Yeah,
he's still going, by the way.
Yeah, like he's like doing his own thing now. That's freaking awesome. Like he's actually super successful. So yeah, just like it just felt good to be a fan. Like there was such little. It feels weird to say because I'm a big proponent of this, as much as anyone now. But like there was such little negativity because there was so many unknowns, right? Like people weren't like. I guess people didn't want this to suck. People wanted this to be good, so you didn't have like people crapping on it even before it happens. Maybe the way you'd see even sometimes now. So it just felt good to be a fan. People were excited. Like there was merchandise everywhere. Like you couldn't avoid it. And it like any like little thing that you maybe got that contributed to it, just all like were small steps in building up to like the obviously getting to see the movie when it finally came out. And the Lego sets, especially, because I mean they did a decent amount of like Black Series stuff. But like compared to the prequel like waves of toys, like the action figure side of things wasn't nearly as big as it was like during the prequels. So I think Lego, for a lot more people than maybe back in the day, was like a really important cornerstone of movie merch.
Yeah,
like I agree. And it was the only way again to get like play sets, right? I mean, like you said, you can get Black Series so-and-so, and funnily enough, that Christmas I got I keep forgetting Hasbro Black Series.
Yeah.
I got the Pose X-Wing. My wife got that for me. Non-Lego, which if I could do it all over again, I would have got that one, obviously. But I got the regular one. She just like gave me that for Christmas and a couple of the figs because she knew I was like, it definitely, brought me out of my Star Wars slumber because again, post the clone stuff just never really, I'm sorry, it just didn't really, hit with me. But I was definitely stoked for this. We had just moved to New York City. We got like world premiere tickets. We saw it a week before anybody else. Like I was on fire for this thing.
That's wild.
Yeah, through a Connect, I got to see it really early. Yeah, nice. I'm not trying to flex. That's what happened.
So coming out of it, how are you like feeling about it?
Oh, dude, I thought it was freaking amazing.
Yeah,
and I still do think it's really good. And then, you can watch stuff and go like, oh, they blew up a Death Star again, and da 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 da. And then I could also counter with like, well, every Rocky's pretty much the same too. But if it works, like, cool, So whatever, play the hits, man. Anyway, so yeah, I was definitely at my own level. It like brought me back into Star Wars in a lot of ways, not necessarily Lego because that was a couple years later, but yeah.
So. This whole wave definitely is what got me out of my Lego Dark Age. Like this whole wave right here, I have most of it. But yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit more as we get to more.
All right, so we got some polys, Kylo Command Shuttle. Jay, was it just a summary of the polys, or do you want to get into any of these specifically? I don't know.
I guess the only thing I kind of want to add to it is, I guess not necessarily for the polys, but kind of setting the table for the hype. This was the first time in pretty much ever where, I mean, maybe since I guess the Phantom Menace or maybe the prequel waves in general, but the first time that like, no, I'd say probably the first time ever that we got just a very comprehensive like first wave of like a new Star Wars movie. Like you go back and you look at kind of like the first sets we got for episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I think there's some like glaring omissions even to this day somehow. But if you like look at this wave as a whole, Lego did such a solid job with giving us like, if you were a fan, like they covered their bases so well. We got basically every type of new troop that shows up in the movie, like all the main characters right out of the gate, all the like sub characters. Like Lego was just really good in this wave, and with I'd say all the movie waves, with understanding that like, yeah, we got to try to pack as much into this as possible because this is all new stuff. It's not like, you know, there's stormtroopers and whatnot that have already existed that we would be reiterating. It's all new. So I think that gave them extra incentive to really go out of their way to throw extra figures and sets that maybe they wouldn't do otherwise. And I think that's what also just made it feel a lot more special.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think that's so what happened, Jay, and why this is part of why I wanted to do this is I just got to North Carolina, and there's a guy, I of course hit up Marketplace, and there's a guy selling that entire first wave, and I've been slowly picking pieces from him.
Okay.
Opened but great condition, adult collector, yada yada yada. A couple of them sealed, and I was just like, yeah, I've been feeling that way for a while. I was like, man, this is a great wave. You know, people are gonna say what they will about the movie and yada yada yada, and I think most people, if they're being honest, they kind of like this first one. I'm sorry, but and that aside, you know, I just I was looking at it, same thoughts. I'm like, comprehensive. You got the play sets, you got the vehicles. Everybody's hit. Everybody's got their moment in the sun. They're playing their games with Hyde and Phasma behind a higher price set. Like, check. You know what I mean? Like they did everything kind of by the numbers here, and I think they did it well.
Yeah.
Let's get into. All right, so let's scroll down. Let's get into some like real sets here. Shout out
So
to Paul.
it looks like this is, if you just like sort it by Force Awakens, it might include stuff that wasn't in the first wave. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Go up one more small guy thing I want to talk about. Sorry. Let's go to this Finn.
That was the video game one. The video game polybag.
Yeah. Jay, so Lego doesn't do blood, but could you imagine this figure if it had the smear of blood on it? This thing would be what?
Oh man, dude.
150,
so
200 bucks.
Elite.
Like
Elite.
That really would have been
blood
nice.
stained helmet was the wildest shit I've ever seen in Star Wars. At the time, I was like, "What? What?"
Elite. Top tier.
Yeah, I
S-tier.
know. It was kind of unfortunate. And I get why. Like I'm not gonna like rant on it. Like I can
They
see
just
why
don't do those things, right? They don't do that.
But the sand was cool, I guess.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was just an extra thing. Like they totally didn't have to do this. Like, but it was just, you know, extra stuff to add to the hype. Like they were. It feels so weird looking at this because we just don't get anything like this nowadays, and it like it's just so, it was just so different. Like I remember the day I got to the mall, and
By the way, sorry, real quick shout out to Stud Sidious, whose Etsy shop, Apex T Designs, a couple new ACOB shirts in the shop if anyone's interested.
Yeah, cop the shirt.
Cop a shirt.
Cop that merch.
Saber hilt, couple of brickheads, green saber laser section, new design.
The link is in our bio on our Instagram.
Listen, we've just talked about it, but I got to go check those out myself. So I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Link in bio on our Instagram at BrickheadsPod.
You know, I don't know how this is going to work out, but you know, we're partnering with Sidious here. We'll see if we, you know,
to the dark side.
Yeah, well, you know, I've always been a dark side fan. All right, so anyways, I just wanted to talk about that Finn for just a moment.
Well, Jay, you were saying you were walking into the mall one day. Was it to get the game?
Yeah, I remember going to GameStop to get the game, and you had to buy like the gold edition or something to get it.
Yeah.
And I was just so excited just to get another gold thing we didn't have from the new movie, because once again, like it was like this was all new stuff still, so it was just like everything. It just felt so much more special, you know, just like oh like I don't know how to put it. It feels a lot different. Even like, for example, a couple years ago, Lego finally gave us like Jan Dodonna, and that was a figure that they hadn't made ever, and they finally did it, and it was cool. And I have appreciation for that. But I feel like it hits different when like the movie comes out, and it just kind of feels like you're opening up a new world. It's like, oh, I'm filling in the blanks of like, you know, this new world and era of Star Wars. So that's one thing I just really appreciated about it.
Yeah, it was exciting, man. Especially like not only was I getting out of my Lego Dark Age, but I was getting out of my Star Wars Dark Age as well. Like I was getting fired up about Star Wars and Lego at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and with all the nostalgia of like Lego's always pretty easily been my favorite theme in Lego, so or Star Wars, Lego Star Wars. So that was exciting. Getting into these sets though, I'm seeing this Ray's speeder. And
let's pull it up. Let's get a real set.
The Ray's speeder was
I think it's fire.
It is sick, man. It was cool at the time. $20. Her helmet piece is really dope. Really good detail on that. I think
like
this
Jay, we're not getting this for 20. Is this a 35 boy nowadays? Like, what are we looking at?
It's 25 at least.
No way. No way on earth.
Maybe 30 today.
Max, where you at? It's a 30 boy at this point.
It's definitely a 35.
35.
It's gonna be with that. It's gonna be with that snub fighter.
It is snubbish.
This is a snubby. Yeah. This is snubbish. Yeah,
snubbish.
Snubbish, ruggish mode. Yeah.
About that was
keep it up. Keep Ray up there. Let's get Ray up.
Yeah, this thing is sick.
This is
for this set. I want to say that there's originally supposed to be a BB-8 plan to come with the set, and if you open up the set where that little box is, there's like a stud, and like that was where you're supposed to be able to store BB-8. But I guess at some point in the production, they were like, "Oh, there's too many BB-8s across this wave," so they replaced it with that like cargo box that kind of sits in there. So that was one of the points of contention with this when it first came out. People were like, "Oh, like we thought it came with BB-8."
Dude, this set was so cool. I believe this was the second set that I got out of this whole wave. We'll get to the one I got first a little bit later, but I loved this thing, man.
Oh yeah, I guess that was great.
Got this thing brand new for like $7 off Facebook.
Yeah, no,
nice. This set's cool, dude.
I got it for 15 shipped when I first like started really getting into it, and I'd do 30. I think it's fantastic. So for bonus points, by the way, for you Disney heads out there, this vehicle is featured in Galaxy's Edge. So, you know, if you're trying to, as I am, I'm trying to collect all the vehicles in Galaxy's Edge. Still need that Kylo ship that has still not been made, which is freaking fantastic.
TIE Echelon.
The TIE Echelon. Thank you. I knew you'd know that. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. The helmet, the mask, whatever you want to call it. It's probably the girthiest speeder we've ever gotten, right, Jay? I mean, as far as like
girthy.
I like it. It's just different. Like design wise, I think it screams Star Wars, but like there's nothing really like it's like Star Wars in a new way. And I like it when I see things that are Star Wars in a new way. It doesn't like prey on nostalgia or anything like that. Like it doesn't look like anything.
Right.
But it does look like Star Wars.
One could argue it's the same color as the Luke's land speeder in a weird way. Like it's got the dark reds, but
I don't know if I'd even go that far. Like Luke's is, I don't know. I mean, I see what you mean, but
that's like the only parallel that I could think of.
I've heard some people say that it was supposed to be like a pod racer engine, which you can kind of see if you like turn it on its side. But other than that, I do really appreciate this set and the fact that main character had their own little speeder. It was cool, especially like if you like. I think once again, looking at it in the eyes of a kid, if you get to go to the store and you know you're a kid super excited for the new Star Wars movie, and you know all you have is $20, like I can get like a cool speeder with the new main character and like to fight, like that's the kind of stuff that I love. I love like sets that are kind of, I guess, just accessible and give you a good bang for your buck. And if I was a kid in the toy store, like it would make me happy for a reason XYZ.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Like what a appetizer, honestly.
It is. It had good box art.
Yep.
This is probably from that movie. This is probably the perfect like $20 set they could do. So
It is, because I really do love the beginning of how they show Rey, because especially that transition scene where we first see Rey in this mask. It goes from like Finn putting his stormtrooper helmet on, and then it
To her like coming out.
flashes. And it's like they almost have the same like lenses and the masks and everything, and just seeing her in her scavenger everyday routine.
I want to say like the goggles on her helmet are actually like from a stormtrooper helmet
taken out and like
for sure. Yeah.
Hey, she's scavenged what she could and made some.
You felt like you got your money's worth for a 7-piece on this.
Oh yeah, definitely,
dude. $7, of course.
The steal of the century at the time.
Rune was saying
there's another set I got a steal on, which we'll go cover.
Yeah.
All right.
Rune was saying it's 25 seal.
Oh, here we go. Let's get to some next sets. Let's go. This is an A set.
Kind of controversial.
We're gonna. Well, let's grade them. Letter grades, Jay. A. I think it's an A set for the price for what it did.
Oh yeah.
A tier for the speeder.
Sorry you didn't get the BB-8, kiddos, but it is what it is.
This next one's interesting because it was from the deleted scene of the movie.
Ah,
am I right? I think I'm right.
Yeah, it is. So if you look close enough, it does actually appear in the film. So basically, on a Starkiller base, when they're traveling from the actual base to get to the oscillator building where they like blow the hole into the planet, there was a sequence where they would get in one of these and they'll be chased by a group of snowtroopers in another one. So that's kind of the context for this set. But what did get left in the movie is whenever they go into the oscillator building, there's a shot of them like from inside the oscillator building, and the door is open, and as they're running in, you see this sitting like behind them. So it is technically in the movie, so it gets that much credit, I guess, for like a second.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take Jay's word on that, but
I think it's.
I think I would know.
That's what I was saying, dude. I'm messing with you.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Now, this was.
If anyone knows anything about that, it would be Jay. All right.
Now, this was another random one that I didn't end up picking up, but I think did this retail for 25, 30? It couldn't have been more than 30 back in 2015.
It says it right here.
Real quick. So here's the random play feature.
30. Whoa, Jay, what was
that? Was $40?
Community's reaction 40 on this bad boy?
Hold on.
I guess it's not.
Hold on. Let's bring Jay up full screen. Hold on.
I don't think that's a bad $40 set. It's pretty big. It's a
hold it up again, Jay.
Hold that. Ooh.
Okay, here I was going to show you. So if you twist the engine, I totally forgot this is a thing. There's like a knob that'll actually open the doors.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's sick. I forgot that it popped that out.
I totally literally. I was just playing with it now, and I'm like, "What? Why does this spin?" I'm like, "Oh,
yeah. I forgot about that. That's a dope little feature.
Yeah,
I think it's sweet, dude.
It's a fire set.
Yeah, $40 for that speeder.
First order snow speeder. Jay, do you remember your reaction at the time? This is 40. Was that shocking? Do you remember? Like that seems high even for back then.
More than anything, because I remember this was one of the ones that were on like a leak list. I was more like, oh, so the bad guys have a snow speeder now, and I was very much so expecting something that looked like a Rebel snow speeder. I think that was really my biggest reaction to it. Like having the set in hand, like it's pretty big. Like, I don't think $40 for this is bad at all. Especially with 3 of the new snowtroopers as well as one of them as a commander. I think this is a solid like $40 price point. That is, I mean, if the sequence was still in the movie, it would feel I think a lot better. So it's kind of unfortunate that it did get cut. But like if you see the sequence, like it's a pretty extended sequence. Like I think this is definitely like worthy of being in the first wave and having a $40 price point. And even outside of that, just for the figures alone, like once again, like how I mentioned earlier, they gave us all the troops right out the gate. Like it's not like, oh, you gotta wait for this guy, you gotta wait for this variant. Like right out the gate, they were like, oh, here's all of them, guys. Have fun. So that was really cool.
All right. Yeah, this one's a bit of a sleeper for me. I'm gonna do more digging on this one. I just didn't. This isn't one of the ones that I've clamored for, but you've piqued my interest now. All right. Next set, Max.
Oh, this next one. Oh my god.
This is interesting because This set today, retail, was it 80 back in the day? What was this
I
one?
would say it was
Max?
70. The
70.
Prozac thing was 80.
So you can still get this, I think, around 100 shipped. Loose, sometimes 40, $50. You got to watch for people who scavenge the figs.
Yeah.
Is this where they start putting the Kylo guys in there? The Knights of Ren? Is this one of those or no?
No, that was from the 9th movie. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So anyways, this one, I don't know. Like, to me, I still feel like it's kind of undervalued. It could be just because of the general sequel hate early, but I feel like, Jay, you talked about your staples, right? We talked about peanut butter and jelly and all that stuff. If I had to advise people to get like one of the few things we're going to talk about tonight, I think this is one of them because, first of all, I think it's fire. It might have been overproduced. I know it was on deep clearances. I get all that. But like, there's going to be TIE completionists. I'm one of them, an X-Wing completionist. I'm going to try to be one of them. I just think it's amazing looking. And I think people are sleeping. And if you can get it for effectively $20-$30 over retail and with inflation shipping, I feel like that's a fair deal. I'd advise people to get this. I just think it's super cool. The red cockpit or the red canopy window, whatever you want to call it, is fire. I just think this set is friggin' awesome, and I don't get why it's so value priced still.
I love this set. This set is I was pretty indifferent on TIE Fighters until I got the set. And when I got it, I was like, oh, I get it now. The two-seater cockpit thing, like, I don't know why, but it's just the coolest thing ever. Like, being able to throw, like, a guy in the front and have, like, a guy, reverse in the back, controlling the back gun. Like, that was just the coolest thing ever to me. The red on it was also a cool touch. Just gave it its own kind of unique look. The figures, like, the TIE pilot in this set is groundbreaking.
See the figs, Max? Is that possible?
Huh?
Zoom in more.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if Max can zoom in or if there's alternate shots on Brick's side of the figs.
Oh,
There
okay,
you go.
yeah. The tube, the soft plastic tube on the helmet of this figure is just insane. Like, that is just such a cool detail that they've only ever done for these pilots. This one and the Special Forces one. I'm still hoping one day we'll get it for the Imperial ones.
Oh,
But,
wow.
that was just such, and it's flexible too. It's like a soft rubber molded into the hard plastic. Like, it's crazy. So
Look at Max. Look at Brent flexing with the new camera I sent him.
I know.
A little bit of doo-doo on that one finger, but otherwise you're good.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I'm messing with you.
I bent my fingernail, so it's like a
All right.
scab
A
under the
little bit of
fingernail.
Duke never hurt anybody. All
Nah,
right.
dude, it hurt really bad.
All right.
But no, this
Behind.
TIE Fighter is
All right.
amazing. Mine's dusty, but I'm really glad I have this one. Like, this thing's sick. I gotta find my other two, like, officer figs. I'm sure they're in a bag somewhere.
But yeah, just to kind of round up with the figures, like them doing that was. I love it when Lego just takes the extra step for things that they really didn't have to do. Like, they could have not included that tube and no one would have cared because they've never done it before and they haven't done it since. But taking that extra step was just, that meant everything.
Oh God, sorry.
And then the extra figures they included in it as well. Like, this very well could just been a set that came with the two pilots and we were good. But no, they gave us an officer and a first order crew as well. So, like, as you're kind of building, your collection of things from this new era, having those extra figures goes such a long way because it just gives you more first order stuff, and just for Lego to have that foresight and understand that people want fully, like, rounded minifig collections at this time. Like, I just love that. Like, they did us a lot of favors with this wave, I guess is how I'd say.
And they did a color flip on the wings themselves, Jay.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's the black stripes with the gray insides. Yes.
Yeah, very cool. I didn't give a score on the snow thing. I guess I'm gonna have to say a C because, again, it wasn't really on my radar. But this, to me, an A tier set. I don't know, like, what could you possibly complain about with this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, as a playset, it's pretty perfect. Like, the design is good, the size is good, the figures are great. Like, So many fond memories.
Max, do you have this? Do you want it? What are we doing here? Do you like
can
it?
have
or-
this. I actually got this for $15 from the same lady. It was
Bruh.
brand new, sealed in bags without the box, but you got like 15, and then the race speeder for 7. But this is my favorite tie. I mean, I only have like 3 of the other ties or 2 ties, whatever it is. But this one is not come down from the display, so if that means anything.
There you go.
Love it.
I bought like 5 of this set.
Damn.
The only reason I don't have it built was because I had to build like 8 of the brick vault ties. And at that point, okay, I was like, I don't need 4 play sets built, but I actually would kind of like to have one of these built just for respect. Some sets you got to keep built just out of respect.
Yeah, I think this is one of them.
100%.
Sure.
100%.
It's a good size
All right.
too.
So TIE Fighter, a winner. What do we got next?
Oh, we got the bangers do not stop.
The bangers coming up.
This X-Wing is dope.
Oh,
So dope. Love it, love it, love it. Again, it was, at the time it was cool because what they did, Jay, just in general, is they took what was recognizable, and I'm going to use the word flipped again, but they just kind of flipped it. It's like, it's familiar enough. We know what an X-Wing is. I'm like, oh, okay, they've modernized it, or some other shit has happened. When you first see this, you're like, well, love the X-Wing, respect the X-Wing. Color scheme wise, striking to say the least. Some people call it the Home Depot X-Wing, which is pretty funny.
I love it. It's the
I've heard
Cincinnati
people-
Bengals.
This is kind of a deep cut, but when we first got pictures of it, everyone likened it to that JHAE 14 Starfighter, the black and red one.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the running joke at the time.
Shout out to Disney again, Rise of the Resistance. They do have this in there. So if you're a Disney X,
It's like a surprise, bro. When I saw that full, I was so like,
oh yeah, because you didn't know, because that's after the pre-show, right? When you're walking out,
yes.
yeah, flames,
it's
right?
So good, yes.
Absolute flames. I love it. This one again, guys, reasonable. That's going to be in another wave. The gray one I just got, Brent, the second resistant fighter. That one's going a little more, but I believe you can have this one, Jay, for $120 new in box still to this day. Which, if you don't have it yet, and again, to get it used, you can definitely get it for retail or whatever. What was it, 80 bucks? You get one used, great condition, $80. Amazing. I think it's fantastic.
Sean,
yeah,
I gotta set the table for this set right here.
Yeah, can I full screen you? Is it one of those?
Sure.
Yeah,
I wish I had the set on hand, but it's put away somewhere.
That's all right.
So this set was, within the first couple sets I got out of the wave. I'm getting out of my dark ages for the first time. All right. I build this thing. I have a great time building this thing. And at the time, my mom was being a nanny for a family, watching this kid, and his parents got him this set, and he was a little younger, so he needed a little help building it. And I actually built the set again. So I built the set twice, and like I said, or like we've been talking about, the vibe for The Force Awakens was everywhere. The merchandise was everywhere. The movie was, I saw the movie countless amounts of times in the theaters. So just to build this set again, to see a young kid fired up about the set and fired up about Star Wars just reminded me of being a young kid fired up for Star Wars. So this is another one of those sets that is, I'm definitely, I have it around somewhere, and definitely when I get it out of its bag or whatever, I'll put it on display. But this is one of my favorite X-Wings for sure. The color scheme's dope. The nostalgia I have for this set is up there. So yeah.
Now, Jay, I heard this one. The reports on this one was, again, probably a little bit of overproduction, and again, this was widely released. This wasn't just limited to Lego stores, Target, Walmart, the whole banana. But it's I'm happy. Shout out to
Other guy,
GLS, Max, Sean, Jay, other guy. What up, Doc? But I was like, again, coming into this really, Jay, seriously in 2019, to hear like something like this was on clearance and all that. And before I understood the game, I'm like, how could this gem be on clearance? And I'm still
So-
baffled, and I know it's because it's sequelitis and everybody hates them and all that, and maybe that's why this thing's still affordable. But guys, even if you hate the movies, like what a model this is. I'm sorry.
Dope X-Wing.
It's
Super
dope X-Wing.
I think, and we'll see this with a lot of these sets. I think more than anything, like the movie, like especially like the trilogy movies, production for those, like I have to imagine far exceeded like just the average everyday Lego set. So,
Well, you're getting normies, right? You're getting a lot of normies in there too.
Exactly, and they had to account for that because these sets weren't just oh, the set we're putting out now. Like these were part of big movie pushes from Disney. So you have to imagine that there's probably just a lot more of these like in circulation than the average Lego set.
That's fair. Yeah.
One thing I did want to, I mean, the minifigs is you gotta call it out because these sets were groundbreaking for so many reasons.
Yeah,
but yeah, the helmets. First ever dual molded pilot helmet was ridiculous when I first got it. Like I was just blown away. I was like, oh, this is the new standard. Unfortunately, apparently it wasn't. But it gave me hope. And then also just once again to reiterate with how gracious Lego was, like just giving us that second pilot as well as the Goss Towers technician minifigure. Like totally didn't have to do that. Could have just been an X-Wing with Poe and BB-8 and you were good to go. But no, like there's just so much extra stuff to once again help you fill out, all these new designs in this new era of Star Wars. So like if you got this set, you got more than just the X-Wing. You got more things to help bolster your Resistance army, especially with the extra pilot is cool because it's just a different helmet design, and because this is basically a new helmet mold. Like I think it's really important to get as many of those out there as possible. So they just there's so many favors. Once again, you're gonna hear that a lot.
No, but I know I'm loving this extra context. It's exactly what I was looking for, Jess. Fantastic. But again, me, surface guy, you give all that extra flavor. It is what it is. Again, another banger, another A set. We'll go around the room. Jay, your rating on this on a school scale.
Easily.
Brent.
A for sure. Great X-Wing, one of my favorites ever. I have fond memories of it. Love it.
Max.
I'm gonna give it an A. I think any X-Wing really gets an A, unless it's complete dog water. But it's.
I think one thing I will add to this, because it's not really going to come up, or two things actually. The first is I can't believe I glossed over this, but this also debuted that new cockpit. As much as I kind of don't like seeing it now, it was a really big deal at the time. Like I think like this wave in a lot of ways signifies just a lot of new trends that Lego started, like with dual molding pieces, but also that cockpit, like first time they ever used that shape, and they're still using it to this day. So clearly they like it a lot. And the second thing I wanted to say was obviously getting this variant of the X-Wing was really cool. But one thing I thought Lego did was really cool and pretty unprecedented at the time was the next year they dropped the gray and blue version. And like I remember, like it was so just bizarre seeing two X-Wings on the shelves at once, and like you just never would have imagined like Lego would, I guess, kind of like have sets maybe poach off of each other like that. But like if you were a fan at the time, you could have the special variant, but also just the standard one if you wanted to kind of have like a fully fleshed out fleet. Some alliteration right there. But yeah, just a lot of cool things they did with these sets.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Coming up.
All right,
banger.
Kick it off. This is the bangers continue. Jay, you called it out. First order troop transport. I have to do a daddy daycare thing real quick. You guys kick it off. I will be right back.
All right, go for it.
Max, was that last one that you scrolled past? Was it just the picture not loading?
For which one?
Never mind. I'm dumb. Yeah. So I never got this one. Big regret.
Yeah.
I know I messed up because it's not cheap now. And this is one of those ones. I was talking to Sean. No, it's like almost 200 sealed, or at least on eBay. I'm sure maybe Bricklink might be cheaper, but this was one of those ones. Oh, what does it say? What it's going for now?
160.
Okay, so not awful. But I was telling Sean about this as he's like messaging me fired up on all these Force Awakens sets. And what was cool about this is it was almost just like a beefy battle pack. For some reason in my head, I thought it came with more troopers, but even still, in that scene in the beginning, there's like 3 or 4 of these. So that gives you like reason to buy multiples of this while also getting more troopers.
Yep.
And yeah, this set is I'll go ahead and say this is A tier for sure for me. This set is sick.
Oh yeah, I remember getting the set. This was the third Force Awakens set I got. I
Nice.
started off whenever I first. I remember that day. Like I went into the store and I was like, I don't have money to get everything, and I was about to go off to school as well. So I think that kind of also just embraced my intimacy with those sets, just because like it wasn't like I had just my full collection with me. It was like all I'm gonna have with me is stuff from this new movie. So hopefully I like it. But I got the Falcon and Kylo shuttle at first, just because I wanted like the main bad guys and the main good guys. But this was the third one I got, and just being able to get flame troopers was really cool. Like that's probably one of my favorite designs ever. Getting Phasma in this was also really nice. The 2 standard stormtroopers and the 2 the resistance troopers. Like I thought this could have easily just been like maybe like Phasma, a couple flame troopers, and maybe a stormtrooper if they really wanted,
right?
And then left out the other 3. But once again, they were just toss figures in there. Like who cares? Like contextually, the resistance troops weren't even anywhere near the set, but they still just threw the figures in just because, help you get more bang for your buck and help you get more of your fleet / like forces filled out. So it's another one of those really cool things that Lego did.
Yeah, I'm living in big regret not getting this thing. I have to. If out of any of these sets that I missed, this is one of the ones I really need to get because I don't think I have a Phasma. So
I have like 5 or 6 of this set.
If you want to sell one in Chicago, let me know.
I literally have 2 of these so it's not sealed, but the bags with the figures are opened up because I needed them for Star Killer, and then the rest of it is just.
And I don't know if you guys touched on this while I was gone, but can we talk about First Order Stormies for a moment? If we really,
they're dope.
I just think they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I like them.
Ushering in a new era, Jay, a few times now. I'm paraphrasing, but can you zoom in, Max? Can you give me a close up of one of those First Order Stormies who are also superior to clones? Could you?
Oh, they are,
dude. Like, what a way! And I'm sure they spent millions of dollars, Jay, on trying to figure out like how do we update this, but we keep it the same, but we don't ruin. Because Stormies have been iconic from the jump, right? And so like to take this on and to freaking absolutely nail the First Order Stormtrooper, and relevant to this little show, nail it on a minifigure as well. First Order Stormies are the truth, man. Like I don't like. I don't know. I just wanted to pause real quick and give a shout out to this on all fronts. All teams' efforts. The First Order Stormtroopers are just friggin' fire. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's just the perfect.
Hate the sequels all you want, but they got these right.
There's also one thing I do want to add, and I think this is really telling of just how well designed this was. All the iterations of like the troops in these sets, like outside of the Stormtrooper, which had like the mouth changed for the Last Jedi, so they updated that. Like all these designs, like Lego still uses. So for them to, with the amount of changes we get to regular Imperial Stormtroopers on the daily, it seems, for them to basically have one wave where they made all the troopers at once and to do them all so well where they still use these exact same designs, I think that's really cool just how they got it right the first time. Because like looking at the First Order like Trooper Lego design, there's one of those ones I don't even mind. Obviously, I have a lot, but I don't mind having a lot because like feasibly, like how could they update it? Like maybe they get changed the print just because, but just looking at it, it's a pretty perfect looking minifigure, and I feel that way about like all the First Order troops they did. So
what it needs though, Jay. Jay, it's a 9.8. This figure. You know what's wrong with it though?
What's wrong with it?
Doesn't have that smear of blood across the.
Yeah, but that one's not supposed to be Finn.
I know, but I just want to see the smear. You know,
Wants every fig to have it.
no, not all of them.
Every Stormy.
Dude.
Could have
I'm
given us
sorry,
a
but
polygon.
like,
Just take
there's
red
certain Star
Sharpie
Wars,
and make
there's
it
certain
yourself.
Star Wars moments that jump out, man, and man, that's like I don't know if it's it's top 5 in recent memory, but like seeing Finn unmasked, dude, like just even without the blood extra, obviously added to it, but seeing a stormtrooper unmask and just him being a real guy, and then them subsequently blowing that entire storyline.
Yeah, say if only they gave Finn a better story arc.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable though, but right? Like he was like, "That's right, there's dudes under there. Let's learn about this guy." And then they blew it. It almost makes me mad at the same time that I love this design so much. But anyway,
Let's let him just go on an adventure with Rose Tico to a casino, and then in episode 9,
Christ.
he almost
Vanishes.
confesses his love for Rey before they get swallowed by quicksand, and then never talk
people
about
say
it.
he was supposed to say he was force sensitive, but
Or he was about to say he was force sensitive. Yeah, but like still, they just didn't fully. I don't know. I won't.
it's
rant.
upsetting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I brought up the Finn arc.
Nah, it's okay. They did our boy dirty, man. Shout out to Finn.
Shout out to Finn.
Shout out to John Boyega, man.
The most compelling thing they could have set up, Jay, and they, damn it. All right.
I disagree so hard.
You don't
The
like
Finn
the
story? You like
under the mask? You don't like the? Oh, you like it or you don't?
I love it.
Really?
I mean, episode 9 is whatever, but
what did he do in 8? That was
okay. Here's what I don't understand about what people criticize with Finn is okay. Number one, strictly speaking, like if we just look at Star Wars trilogy as a whole, and I'm only using them because they're a reference point, and
Sure.
we can compare these things pretty applicably to each other. In the original Star Wars trilogy, there's basically 3 characters more or less who get development: Luke, Darth Vader at the very end, and Han Solo in one movie. So, in the prequels, Jar Jar and Anakin. In the sequels, Rey, Finn, Rose, Luke, Poe, Kylo. Like that's just 6 people I can think of off the bat who all have character arcs.
Defined development.
There's character development and other characters in the prequels. Obi-Wan.
Tell me one.
Well,
Obi-Wan
you only
was
said
kind of the same the whole time.
Yeah, but he had to become he went from an apprentice to having his own apprentice and having to deal with that, to then having to battle his apprentice on Mustafar.
Those are things he did, but those aren't differences in his character. Like what does episode 3 Obi-Wan do any differently than episode 1 Obi-Wan would have done?
Right.
I mean, in episode 1, he was a apprentice.
Are you out of your mind? Here we go. Well, listen, Jay's open the floor. You guys are welcome to come.
Like, I'm willing to have the conversation. Like as a person,
Dude.
Like what motivates him, the decisions he makes.
Okay, let me ask you this, Jay. They did an arc with Finn. Were you hoping for more, though? I get what you're saying, but like, I know. I
think episode 9 could have finished it off, but I think the story of a guy who starts off like on the run, like who's not really willing to fight for anything, and then we fast forward to the end of The Last Jedi, and he's literally willing to sacrifice his life for the Resistance. I think that's very telling in like the kind of person he's become and the things he learned on Canto Bight from.
Did you expect him to die when that was first happening? I did.
No, only because Kathleen Kennedy kind of spoiled it.
So, what kind of development did Poe have other than being like snubbed the whole time in episode 8?
Poe was like Han Light. Like a Han.
He was
Light.
Han Light,
bro. Yeah. The entire point of Poe's arc in The Last Jedi is about him becoming a leader. At the beginning of the movie, he's like, "Oh, like guys, let's go get him. Let's like hop in our ships and go blow up the First Order." And he gets like all of his fleet killed. So by the end of the movie, when Finn's the one who's like, "Oh, let's go fight," Poe's like, "No, like sometimes being a leader isn't just sending everyone into battle, but instead figuring out a way to fight another day." And that's exactly what he does by following the crystal critters like outside of the cave. At the beginning of the movie, Poe absolutely would have been like, "Oh, let's hop in our ships and go blow this up." But through the development he gets from the movie with his relationship with Leia, and also seeing everyone around him die because of his actions. That's what molds him into a new person, aka gives him a character arc and changes the decision he would have made at the end of that film.
Mm-hmm.
What about Rose? She just kind of was like mad that Finn was leaving, but really he was going to try to find Rey.
Really get much development, but at this point, we're looking at like the 8th and 9th most important characters in the film.
Well, I'm just
that's like the actually. What about
Grand Moff Tarkin? Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
listen, even Watto.
Even more significant. That's like me. What about
Captain? All right, when you pull that out, I mean,
Shmi had development. Shmi had development. Watto had development.
Oh my god, no, they did not.
Mace Windu had development.
Define development.
Development is just a character going through situations that helps mold them into whoever they're ultimately supposed to be. So, like, I mean, it's just the character arc. Like,
Kevin said he was sweating. I think in Force Awakens he was sweating Rey. I mean, that was for sure. Yeah, you joined it for Rey.
Listen, the best sequel character with the best character arc.
Friend is on crack. Here we go.
Easily, I'm on crack for what? Well, I'm messing around, whatever. But the best character out of the sequel trilogy with the best story and the best character arc, it's not even close.
Kylo.
It's Babu Frick. It's Babu Frick. Or Bulio. Actually, who's the other slug-looking guy that's like helping them out in episode 9?
Claude.
What was it? Claude? Yeah, dude. Claude, Babu Frick. Iconic characters.
All right, Zach's saying it's an ugly set, and I'm kind of like I'm team fix on this. I need to see it in hand. I don't have this one.
I think proportion wise, it should look a little bit longer for what it is.
Yeah,
but for I can understand. Like I can give them a pass just because that would have definitely raised the price for a shape like this.
So,
but to bring our past conversation into a close, I feel like. I don't know what it is about the sequels that people like the fact that I just had to like articulate the arcs of those movies to you when they're all very apparent at the forefront. And I feel like I don't know what it is. Maybe someone can tell me, but people just aren't like I don't know if they're not paying attention or they just don't care. But like obviously these characters are developing. They're going through things. Like a lot of thought I feel is put into like where these characters start off, what they experience in the film, and then ultimately how that molds them at the very end of the film. And that's one of the reasons I love The Last Jedi. But I feel like people will so just flippantly be like, oh, they did nothing with Finn. Meanwhile, like he got more development than like Han Solo or pretty much any other character that wasn't.
Yeah, but even John Boyega was like verbal about like it wasn't what he was told, and like I don't know, man. Like the Finn one, I'm sorry, dude. He peaked hard and won. Everything else, I got to disagree with you on.
Like I get it, he learned a lesson at Canto Bight, but like in episode 8, other than like trying to find Rey.
Well, no, he said Jay did say in Jay's defense, he said that 8 was or 9 was dog shit. So I mean,
no, I know, but I'm talking about an 8 when Rey or Finn in episode 8 was pretty much just like.
I thought he was a throwaway. In 8.
I woke up. Where's Rey? I'm gonna try to leave. Rose is gonna stop me. Not really understand. Like she thinks I'm leaving, but I'm really trying to find Rey.
I honestly think if he went out, Nate, it would have been better for him. I mean, I'm sorry. Like the ultimate sacrifice.
Rune in the chat says that his arc in Last Jedi was a previous Force Awakens arc, and that's just not true. At the end of the Force Awakens, he's basically still the same person he was at the beginning of that movie, because the only reason he went to Starkiller was to find Rey.
How much is Disney paying you, Jay?
Like fighting for the Resistance. In The Last Jedi, he's very much fighting for the Resistance.
All right, Jay, this is a good one. This comes up a lot. You've answered it, I'm sure, 90,000 times. How did Finn survive fighting Kylo? Was Kylo just an underdeveloped Jedi? Because you mentioned, the fact that Rey held her own too. If you're going to do that, you got to throw in how did Rey survive that first battle as well? I think that's. Yeah.
I got 2 responses. One,
good guys are going to good guy. I don't know.
Are you asking like why Kylo didn't proceed to like chop his body into pieces when he cut his spine? Like I don't like what was he supposed?
That's true.
Like,
he did give him a good slash.
He incapacitated him. Like why was that not fine? I don't understand.
They did back to his ass, right? I mean they did.
Oh yeah, he freaking destroyed the guy. I mean, I guess Kylo kind of hated Finn, but he wasn't a priority. Kylo wasn't like, oh, like let me freaking put the saber to his neck, make sure he's dead. What I want to know, hold on, I'm gonna answer the Rey thing in a second. But how about this? How about you guys ask yourself this question? Why did Anakin survive his fight with Obi-Wan?
I mean, he had to become Darth Vader somehow.
No, that's true. That's a great question.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, I think no, hold on. I think the beef. I agree with you, Jay, on that take. I think the beef is though you've got two experienced Jedi, regardless of how it ended. It's like you had two experienced Jedi fighting each other.
Okay.
And so it was a long, grueling battle, and it made sense. Probably too long, and I know people, whatever. But it makes sense on paper. You got two heavyweights going at it, and it's like, okay, but now you've got the supposed new Tyson and Kylo Ren going against a rookie in Finn and a rookie in Rey, and that's the problem. Like they weren't qualified to be in that fight with Kylo, I think is what people.
Well, I would say so. Number one, Kylo had gotten hit with a pretty hellacious blast to his abdomen. It wasn't like he was even.
He was fine a couple hours later.
Like dude was pretty, and we saw what that gun did to people in that movie. Dudes were flying everywhere. So let's not act like it was a fair fight. But Kylo did what he had to do. He cut the dude's spine in half. Like I don't see like it wasn't like Finn ever got the best of him in that fight. Like Kylo messed him up pretty good. And then with the Rey part, and I find it silly that I have to explain this to anyone because if you just watch the movie, it's very apparent that Kylo is not trying to kill her. During the entire fight, Kylo is like, "You need someone to train you." He's not trying to murder her. I know it's very easy to look at Star Wars lightsaber fights and just assume like, oh, these two people have to be trying to kill each other. But sometimes it's a little bit more than that. Sometimes it's not just we want to kill each other. Sometimes there's more going on than just the fight. And that's what's happening with Rey and Kylo. And then Kylo has her against the wall. Rey taps into the Force and then catches him totally off guard. And he's like, what the hell? Like, I did not expect that from this girl. But at no point is he trying to murder her. Like, that's not the point.
But he'll kill his dad. I mean, dude, I'm not saying that like
Kylo had utility for Rey. Kylo didn't have utility for his father.
All right.
In fact, from Kylo's point of view, his father was what was holding him back. From Kylo's point of view, his dad was like
that's something he had to do, right? All right.
Yeah, but with
from
Rey,
my point of view, the Jedi.
Right, look, I love your psychology in this, Jay. I'm just,
these are all obvious things, guys. Just watch the movie, man. Like,
listen, I like The Force Awakens. I just like Episode 8 and 9 are just low on my list.
I mean, that's fine. That's whatever. But I feel like the fact that these, what I would consider to be blatantly obvious things in these movies, like, to put it in short, I think for whatever reason, people are so willing to give like the prequels for whatever reason, and even the original trilogy, the benefit of the doubt. Like if it's something they don't understand, the kind of reaction is just, oh, I just don't understand it. Whereas when it comes to the sequels, if it's something that they don't really understand, it's like, oh, well, clearly the movie just sucks because I don't understand this thing, as opposed to putting like any effort into trying to understand it. And I think that's what really gets me. Like, just be fair. Like, at the end of the day, you don't have to like the movie. Like, if you walk out of the movie and you don't like it because they showed their color red too much, that's whatever. Like, things are subjective.
Yeah.
But to the amount of like arguments I hear against these movies that are things that are very obvious within the movies, like that's what I don't understand. Like,
so
people are just so unfairly critical of these films for whatever reason, but will let freaking Jar Jar step in poop and still call the prequels genius. And that's what gets me.
So to piggyback off Jar Jar stepping in poop,
Max, we need a new pick, but
that's fine. Go to the next set. But to piggyback off of Jar Jar stepping in poop, that happened like a good like an hour into the movie, whatever. This is one more little nitpick thing about The Last Jedi, because there are things in The Last Jedi that I do really love, certain parts of it, and I feel like if it was tweaked in a couple different ways, then I would really love it. But they immediately start off The Last Jedi with Poe like, I have a message for Hux
with the Yo Mama joke
about his mother. That to me immediately.
I think they were channeling the Marvel common success.
But I don't want to feel like I'm watching a Marvel movie when I'm watching Star Wars. For me, like
I
feel
agree,
like that
but I'm
was just
saying it's the same. It's the same parent company. I think they were like, you know what Star Wars needs?
But no, but it doesn't. Like, is the thing. Like, I don't know.
All right, here we go. Kylo Ren's shuttle. Now, this is what I really want to ask you, Jay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, we could
experience with this model
sequel philosophy for the rest of our natural lives, and maybe we should do that. No, seriously, we could be the first D writers for sequel because I happen to like a lot of it, Jay. I know I'm counterpunching you on a lot of this stuff, but I think I like a lot of it too. All
I gotta ask is, have I lied?
You haven't lied. You're making sense to you. Listen, the one thing that no one will ever talk me down from ever is Luke. They just can't. Okay. They can't because of nostalgia, and you can say whatever you want. Like, I'll admit it's nostalgia, but they took my fucking hero and made him into the biggest bitch, and I don't care what anybody says, and it's for this reason, and da-da-da-da-da. Unacceptable. Our Luke wouldn't do that shit, which is why they retconned and had him absolutely wreck shop in Mandalorian season 2, and that is who the fuck we wanted to see, and that gets me so fired up because he turned into such a fucking what is it, Super Saiyan? How do you say it, Brent?
Super Saiyan, but like no, listen,
he turned into Super Saiyan Luke in Return of the Jedi. You come back to him and he's sucking a tit and throwing lightsabers over the fucking fence.
No,
and it's upsetting. And he would never like turn his back on.
Never throw a lightsaber.
I don't give a shit. Murdering your own nephew. It was a horrible storyline. No one's ever going to talk me down off that.
Let me interject right in the middle.
That's my old man stance. I'm sorry.
I agree with Sean. I agree with Sean.
That's it. Everything else I'll let slide. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Finn was developed. That's fine. But Luke, come on, man. It's Luke. This isn't Steve. This is fucking Luke. You can't do that to Luke. And by the way,
I want someone to like superimpose a photo of Luke. Like, but I was gonna pick up some power converters at the Tashi station.
Right. He was whiny and he had his arc that you just described. By the way, okay, so how did he arc? Whiny bitch, Super Saiyan, however you say it, and then back to whiny. Like, stop it.
Humans are
he looked so baller in that white outfit. I'm like, he's good. When Rey handed him that lightsaber, I was slightly mad because I'm like, well, he wasn't in it, but I mean, everybody left Force Awakens going, Luke is gonna wreck shit. Here we go. And then he sucked.
Maybe
that was the problem.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. If he would have just survived at the end of the film and was I don't know.
No, he was dead before the fight with Kylo in my eyes. He was dead. Whatever.
No, he wasn't dead before him. What he did
killed him right around when he sucked a
thing right now. He doesn't actually believe that, Brent, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at Yoda in Return of the Jedi, or I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back, he is an old, weathered Jedi Master. I love Yoda in Empire Strikes Back.
Yoda was a noble Jedi. He would never just give up and stop fighting.
It's a similar character arc, though.
My childhood.
No, but one other thing, though, is like I feel like what really left the sour taste. Could he have been a little less grouchy and not thrown the lightsaber? He could have just like kind of walked by Rey and like handed it back or something. Like, could he have been a little less like, oh, laser swords? What do you want me to do? Come out with my laser sword and slaughter the First Order one by one? Like, he could have been maybe a little less like that, and also survived at the end. Because when I came out of the The Last Jedi for the first time, so many people around me were like, that's just fucking it. He's just fucking fades away and he's gone.
Yeah. If only
I was in New York City for that.
To impact the story once they cease to exist as physical beings.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Remember when Obi-Wan was like about to die and he's like, I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine?
True.
Yeah. So you're saying why was that acceptable?
No, I'm saying like
because he did, right? He let Vader kill him in that duel, right?
I don't think he let Vader do anything.
Oh, he 100% let him. Well, he put it, dude. He didn't block. He did the
I
robe
think he
trick.
disappeared from his robe before Vader touched him.
That's what I'm saying. I
That's why
agree.
Vader's looking at that. I'm like, what the fuck has happened?
Right. And so Luke did the same thing, and they tried to do the call out.
Luke,
I
no,
get-
no, Luke
I
didn't do
get
the same
that.
thing. Luke died because of the energy expended in the force projection.
Correct. Why didn't he just show up? His fucking sister was there.
True.
I mean, why? I mean, he seemed to get the job done pretty well.
But it killed him.
He held
he
him.
went-
What you mean?
Why not?
I'll be reasonable. You meaning they didn't get slaughtered that day? Is that what you mean?
Okay. Can I start from the top? One, Luke didn't have a way off the island. That was totally a retcon by episode 9. His X-wing was submerged. He used the wing on it to make a door. There was no way he could have gone there, even if he wanted to. He was stuck.
He used the wing on it to make a door. Hold on, I don't know.
Yeah,
about
look
that.
at the
Well, he
if you
kind
look
of
at
got
the
there
beam,
when Ray
right?
said, "Hold on." He could have got there when Ray said, "Come help us." So I'm going to back that one a little bit.
No, he couldn't. No. Yeah, he could have left with her, but obviously, like,
Right.
Assuming he
But
didn't.
no,
do
but
that,
instead he
yes,
had to
they
burn the
would've-
Jedi text. Right. That's what he had to do.
That wasn't what he had to do. He wasn't going to fight regardless. He wasn't like, "Oh, I can't go with you. I got to burn the Jedi text." It was like, no, like this isn't going to go the way you think it is. You still had given up by that point. I don't. Okay, here's what I think. Why do you accept that Luke gave up on his family, but then like the Last Jedi is the straw that broke the camel's back? If you accept the fact that Luke abandoned his family and you're not totally outraged,
I
by
don't
that,
accept it. He tried
clearly
to
had a reason.
he tried to save his dad. That's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't he try to do that with his dad?
You're saying episode 8 ruined Luke, but I think you really mean episode 7 did, because episode 7 made him abandon his family. Episode 7 put him on the island. Episode 8 is the first time he actually course corrected and did something.
He shouldn't have been there in episode 7 either. In hindsight, I didn't know why he was there in 7, so I can't blame 7 yet.
It's like you expected him to show up at 8, and he was going to be like,
Actually, I know why he was there. Hold on, I know why he.
On this island. Someone just. I've been
I
waiting for someone to help me.
I know why. I have an answer for you. I know why he was there in 7, because they were like, we got to push these new characters over him, and I totally get that. You got to usher it, and I also understand for business sake, there's a lot of that going on. You need the young, hot, in their 20s. Yep, attractive, you know, Ray and Finn and Poe, whatever they are, attractive. I get that. They always do the thing where they pass the torch, right, Jay? You got to pass the torch. We all agree on that. So absolutely. I get why Luke had to be. If it was all about Luke, they wouldn't have gotten new characters. We talk about wrestling. Right. They wouldn't have got the new characters over. They wouldn't have gotten the rub. I get that. Right? But at the end of the day, Hulk always poses. You know, Hulk Hogan always rises to the top.
Why are you so against the idea of Hulk posing in a new way? And I'm just going to make my point about Last Jedi Luke.
All right.
We can move on.
All right.
I don't think I've made this point to you before, so might be something you've never heard before. Here's the thing: what the Last Jedi did for Luke cemented him in the context of the galaxy as far more significant than any lightsaber duel he could have had in a hallway full of robots in the context of Star Wars. One, he uses the Force in an extremely powerful way that we've never seen before, which if you look at all the training that he's given with Yoda, that's what he was taught to do. The Jedi use the Force for knowledge and defense, never attack. So if we're just strictly like looking at the precepts of what makes someone a powerful Jedi, I think that the way he went out in that movie without having to murder his nephew, which apparently was such an egregious thing for him to do anyways, that's what Luke ultimately would have done in that situation. Number two, if you look at especially the end of the movie, it's not just like Luke dies and then ceases to have any impact on the story. The whole narrative that's being explained in that, and which makes it so much more powerful, is the fact that Luke made a sacrifice, and that sacrifice, the legend of Luke, is far more powerful than anything that him as a single person can do, because that's what inspires other people to rise up against evil, to become part of the resistance. And that's ultimately what the story is trying to tell us. Like yes, like Luke himself is capable of a lot of things, but that's not gonna last forever. When if the lightsaber Luke is the only person is like the ultimate version of him, then that dies the moment he dies. But if you let that his impact across the galaxy be his ultimate legacy, then that shows effects that far exceed what he could do as a physical person with a lightsaber. The fact that at the end of that movie we see these kids basically playing out the scenario and like, oh, like did you hear what Luke did? Like, this is like the hero that we've kind of been looking for, and that's what kind of inspires him to like maybe at some point join the resistance. I think that's far more powerful than if he had just like destroyed a few troopers. So to just dismiss him as just being like a bitch, I think it's really ignoring like the far-reaching impacts that a sacrifice like that would have in the galaxy. Sure, in episode 9, yeah, they threw it away, whatever. But the point in episode 8 wasn't just to show Luke getting punked out, but to show that a person's legacy can be far more outreaching and far more impactful than just the things they can do as a physical being. And I think that like for a Jedi especially, that like really resonates with me, because once again, like the Force is like a very mystical thing, and it's something that can kind of like manifest itself in different ways. And I think that him quote unquote dying at the end was a pathway to show like, okay, we've heard that Force ghosts are extremely powerful. We've seen a few things that they can do, but like, how can we see the ultimate version of this? How can we see like why did Obi-Wan feel so confident about becoming a Force ghost? I think that giving Luke the opportunity to do that and impact the story in even more creative ways, like I have no issue with it. It's not like he died and then like there's no more Luke ever again. Luke becoming a Force ghost, I thought was a very interesting way to take his character in a place that he really had never been before. Now, did that happen? No, but the concept of it, I don't think is as disagreeable as maybe some people would be willing to say.
If they had treated him in 9, you keep throwing that out, and that's okay. We all do. Throwing it out meaning you don't think it's trash. I think if they had given us the full, then maybe if the Rian Johnson vision was followed through or whatever, but from the stuff he said and all that, and from Disney's direction, they just wanted to out with the old, in with the new. They knew they had to settle up on this thing. This isn't
with Luke.
I know, but
it wasn't like Rey stood down Kylo. Like that movie could have been far more about Rey in the ending than it was, but no, it was about resolving what Luke had going on.
Yeah, I'll never. You're making amazing points. I'm not gonna. It's impenetrable the way they treated him. It's impenetrable for me. Look, they could have done what they did, but done it in a different way. I get that he had to die and whatever. It's fine. Or but the way they went about it sucked. And I got to tell you, outside of the theater, honestly, it was crazy. Again, not ultra world premiere like Force Awakens. Cussing, screaming, mad. Everyone left there quiet. There was no, which by the way, if you want to treat that and draw a parallel to Empire, people were a little down after Empire. So, maybe sure, fine. Maybe that's the desired effect, but the comeuppance, it was just, it wasn't there for Luke. For Luke, you got to remember the fandom was there for Luke, and I mean, dude, you got to think about it. Like they offed Han, which he's always wanted to be off. You heard Harrison didn't want any part of it, and that's fine. But then they did it to Luke, and it just. I'm sorry. And Solo, and we're seeing a lot of Solo comments. By the way, we're seeing a lot of Solo comment. We're seeing a lot of Solo comments in the chat. Solo was killed dead because of that decision as well. So, that's like Solo suffered for Last Jedi, and Solo is actually Solo is actually pretty good in my opinion. That movie was dead because everyone hated Star Wars' guts during that.
Everyone hated Star Wars, but also it came out like a week before Infinity War, Endgame, or one of those big Marvel movies. So that the timing for that sucked.
And also it wasn't Harrison Ford.
It got so much less There's so like I still don't understand how you can say that, but then like people still showed up for episode 9. People still watch The Mandalorian, like
because they were hoping they got it right, and then they didn't. So, all right, back to
Solo not get it right, or was it just a bad movie? You can't say that like The Mandalorian.
No. I said episode 9 didn't get it right. That was the biggest problem.
But people still showed up to see it. It wasn't like they were still so pissed off they were. It didn't flop like Solo.
Well, I mean, we all hate Star Wars, but then we go watch it. So I mean, that's nothing new.
So then why didn't people go watch the movie that had nothing to do with Luke?
Solo?
Yeah,
because Harrison Ford wasn't in it. That's the biggest problem. There, when
thank you.
Yes, I mean, okay. I mean, honestly, that hurt. But I'm saying, Last Jedi, like, you know, it was going to be problematic because Harrison wasn't in it. Number one. Number two, sour taste in mouth from Jedi didn't help things. I think we can all.
You had to be goofy as hell to think that Episode 8 had anything to do with Solo.
Completely 100%. The sentiment on Star Wars was at an all-time. The sentiment on Star Wars, possibly all-time low since prequels. With that, so I'm telling you, dude, there's a lot of people pissed about Last Jedi.
Still, watch Solo.
Correct.
People were pissed about Episode 9. That didn't stop them from watching Clone Wars the next year. Like any intelligent person.
Well, Clone Boys don't watch. Well, Clone Boys they live in that world. I mean, that's a different fandom.
But you see the point though. Like it isn't just like Star Wars isn't like a zero sum game. Like different people like different parts of Star Wars for different reasons.
Yeah, well, we all go back hoping it gets better. It's like an abusive relationship. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like it was just, it is what it is.
Anyways, this Kylo Ren shuttle here.
Yeah, Kylo Ren shuttle. All right, so Jay, at the time, did we think? Obviously, the better one came out later.
Yeah.
And at the time, do you think this was fire? Like, this is what I want to hear. You were, on the front lines of this one, so to speak. Was everyone fired up for this? Like before the black one came in and just knocked it out of the park. Were people fired up for this set wise, or did they immediately say it's not black? Were they mad? Were they happy to get a Kylo? Like, what was happening with this one?
So I'd say I feel like when leaks first came out, I thought this thing looked so ugly. Like the picture we had was not flattering at all. I was like, what in the world is that? But then once we got more actual photos of it, and then I saw in the film, I was like, oh, that's so freaking cool. The set, I never really held it against Lego that it wasn't black because like every other toy of it wasn't black either. Like there was literally like Hot Wheels versions of it that were white. So it was very apparent to me that this thing went through a lot of design iterations. So I don't really hold that against Lego. And like even though the black one is great and I love it, but I thought like this was still a very good set. Interior wise, you could fit almost all the figures in the inside if you really tried hard enough, which was kind of cool because it comes with a lot of figures. Obviously was the first figure that came with Kylo, and to this day that Kylo is still unique to that set, which is kind of crazy to think about. But also, once again, same story as usual. A lot of just generosity with the set, with a stormtrooper commander, an officer, a lieutenant, and 2 first order crew. Just tons of first order stuff. Round out your first order army with this big first order ship, and I really did appreciate that.
Yeah, like Kylo with like the mask printed on his head and then the hood piece over it was really cool.
I still wish they did. I don't know what it's called. It's some freaking Marvel character. He has like a 3D helmet molded into a hood, and I really wish they did that with Kylo. Like, right? I mean, if they ever make another Kylo, we'll see if it happens. But
is that Hux in there? That's Hux, right?
Yeah, Hux. Yeah.
I just bought him on Whatnot. So.
Nice.
I didn't have a Hux. My son's name's Hux, not because of this, but
no, it's because he loves Episode 8 secretly. Secrets.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So,
secrets.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get a super steal of a deal because I do own the black Kylo Ren.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, so I cherry picked the figure too that I wanted out of there, and this for me, like you said, even at the time. All right, so Jay, at the time, you said the leaks left you a little, but if you're going to review the set at the time, and even if you want to blend it with now, what letter grade would you assign this?
At the time, I'll give it a. I mean, I want to say 8. Which
don't do it on a Force Awakens or a Last Jedi scale.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like for what they were given, it's not a flawed set. Other than, yes, it is. How can I explain this? for the context, contextually speaking, I think it's an A set.
That's B for me.
Max?
I have B just based on the other shuttle.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
agree.
need more
I think if we never got another one, maybe higher. I'm sorry, I can't do it because I wasn't there real time, but yeah, I got to go like B minus for me.
It's a B plus, just because I mean I have nostalgia. Now this one,
All right. Now, Jay, there's been a lot of iterations of the Falcon play scale for sure. At the time, was this considered a fire play scale Millennium Falcon over the last previous one that came out with this? Walk me through this one.
I want to say this one didn't really do much to change the Falcon narrative compared to the previous one. I think this one had going for it obviously all the new characters and the new radar dish, but design wise, like I don't know, it has some like kind of dark tan pieces for some dirt weathering, I guess. But outside of that, I don't know. I wouldn't say this was a ground design wise wasn't groundbreaking. It was cool to get another Falcon. I think once again those things should always be around. But outside of that, like the figures, I think were the big draw.
Is that the Force Awakens Falcon?
Muted.
He's
Sorry,
always shocked when he's muted.
well, I just don't want to make a bunch of noise when I'm moving around. So yeah, this was the set that got me back officially into Lego. The very, very, very first set that got me out of my dark age.
That's a good one to start with.
Yeah, so for me, it was epic. Like, well, because my mom ended up asking me, like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, well, I know it's not really your fault, but you remember how, like, I stopped
threw out
caring?
my Falcon.
Remember how, like, you know, I didn't really care about Lego anymore, and you gave all my sets away to kids at school? Well, I kind of want Lego again now. And so this is the one. This was the Christmas gift. And it was just sick because for me, 100 and what I think this was 150, what I retail for, 150, 160. But just to me, it was huge. It was like, it's like the feeling I get now when I build a UCS set, but back then. But yeah, this was awesome, especially the figs. You know, you get the whole main cast, you get your Ray, your Chewbacca, and then you get the Conja Club people too, or whatever they were, the Conja Club or whatever these like bounty hunter dudes are that are after Han. Yeah, for me, this was super, super sick. This set got so dusty because it was the very first one I bought in 2015, and I remember taking this apart, every single piece, giving it a nice bath, putting it all back together. So very nostalgic set. This one's got a special place in my heart. Is it the best Falcon? No, but for me, I'm putting it at A because just it's a set that got me back. It's hard for me to not put this at A. I'm biased, yes, but I love this set.
Yeah, bias is all right. Max.
I'll put it at B minus just because I have the newer one, and based off the build design and some of the characters you get in that one, I think I like that over this one. Not saying this is a bad iteration of the Falcon, but I think it was a good step.
The episode 9. Oh, sorry. The
Jay,
episode
you sounded mid on this one.
I mean, I still really like the set. I'd give it B plus. Not a bad set at all. It just wasn't. I think with the hindsight of the 90 episode 9 Falcon, which I think really kind of upped the design in general. This one feels less substantial. But at the time, like this set and the Kylo Shuttle were the first two that I got from The Force Awakens. So like I had so many fond and intimate memories of like kind of playing out scenarios with the characters and just being like, oh man, like I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, what do these guys do? What does this person do? So like having this like meant a lot to me. So I had a lot of memories with it. And very good set. But the episode 9 one for sure showed us like kind of a nice evolution of the playset Falcon.
So wedged in between there is the Kessel Run Falcon. Do you feel like people are sleeping on that one?
A little bit. I think the interior on that one is very cool. Design wise,
it's a lot like this. The Kessel, it's got a lot of gaps. Yeah, especially since it's white, like the gaps kind of show up a lot more. But
Yeah, I think the interior is really nice, but I don't think the castle one. I feel, man, I honestly forgot the thing is.
That's the thing. I think that's what I mean. That's when people use the term "slept on" a lot. I really think the Kessel
Yeah.
Run slept on. And by the way,
It's not a bad set. It's cool. It's interesting, but
if
like,
anyone
if I gotta
needs
have a
one,
Falcon, if I gotta display a Falcon, like, do I want the niche version of the Falcon? Nah, I want the one that I really remember. You know.
yeah. But if you have 90 of the other one, it'd be cool to get a a variant.
Sure, I mean, yeah. If you got space for everything, sure, yeah. But I think most people are only just.
You also get that sweet Donald Glover in that one too. So
Oh God.
All right. Let's move to the next set.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Did we do Resistance?
No, there's the Resistance Troop Transpo. That's one of my favorites.
All right, let's get the battle packs going real quick. And then I think we got the Resistance Troop Transport. Sure. I don't like this one.
I mean, I'm just saying. We can talk about it.
The helmets were cool.
I don't think I've ever seen this set.
No, the helmets were cool. It was cool to go with the Resistance Troop Transport, which is one of my favorites of the wave, actually. But it's a meh battle pack. At least you get 3 of like the same character, so you can build up your army.
The army that no one wants.
The Resistance Army. Hey, not no one. Not no one.
All right, Jay, you've been sitting in the wings on this one. What do you think?
I thought it was fine. If you want to build a what you call it? What's that place called? The Ilenium system. Oh God, what's that planet called?
The Ilenium system.
Where's the Resistance base? The car. You want to? Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the coal system because these guys all look like they were dressed in coals. Like.
Yeah. If you want to build, if you want to build the car, you need a bunch of these guys, but we just don't really see these guys in mass quantities with this outfit really until the next movie. So
yeah.
And yeah, the updated helmet they did for The Last Jedi was much nicer.
All right, First Order Battle Pack.
This one is like a C because you get only 2 like Stormies. Well, actually, technically you only get 1 normal Stormy, and the other one's like a.
I noticed they were stinged with the regular First Order Stormies throughout this whole wave.
This was not the same wave.
Oh, this was the second wave?
I literally maybe you didn't hear me, but no.
Oh, you said that it was going to overlap because of
Oh, okay.
No, I literally like before we started this, I was like, the wave ended with the Falcon.
All right, anything Force Awakens. Let's finish it out. We've come this far. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
yeah, the second First Order battle pack was much better than the first.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you get 2 officers and 2, like it should always be like a 1 officer and then 3 Stormies. At least
3 the same.
Yeah,
4 Stormies would be the best. But.
The set was good for my Star Killer base mock.
Yeah.
Was this the mark of them getting stingy though, Jay, on battle packs in general, where they don't give you army building stuff? Or did it happen before that?
This probably was the year that really started it because I think like 2014, 2013, we got like the Kashyyyk ones and the Utapau ones. So yeah, probably this would have been it.
All right. Takadana, it's starting to pick up a little steam, Brent. I told you that. This thing was team retail up until maybe 6 months ago. I don't know if it's because you get Maz in this, but
the Maz.
What do you think of this one? Max, let's get we got West Coast bricks. You got
it doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not gonna lie.
They broke you off. They broke you off 2 proper Stormies. That's nice.
And the figs are cool, but that's about it. I mean, you get a little backdrop.
Brent,
little Mozzie. I have the set. I didn't think it was completely horrible. I think at the time that it was brand new, is the only way you can get Kylo like with his actual face.
Yep.
So that was the draw for me. The Maz is cool, and 2 more First Order Stormies are cool. The build is whatever. I think it was like $60, so it was kind of overpriced a little. But in today's day and age, if this was $60, like that's a great set. 5 figs. I mean,
yeah, good point. Jay, what was the sentiment at the time on this one?
No, it was. I mean, figs were cool, but overpriced. Like I would rather them have done like rather than that little side piece. Like I never agree with just including the front of a building and nothing from the inside. Like even if it was just like kind of like how they do the cantina set with like some exterior and a small interior. Like they could have put something on the opposite side of this just to give you a place to sit the figures. So that's my biggest thing.
I want the Maz. I'm going to get this set at some point. But man, real quick, if you took away like the cloth piece from this, like it's pretty dull. You know,
Yeah.
Whoever made the call to get the cloth piece in there, like good on them.
technically, it needed like 50 more cloth pieces because in the movie there's like 100 of them.
I don't know. This just looks like somebody made a mock out of parts from Jabba's Palace 2013, and then they got a cloth piece. I don't know.
And then they got a cloth piece.
Yeah, and then different figs, but yeah, I don't know.
It was functional, like the tree fell over and stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, that's true. You got a tree fall.
It's like a C+ set. This next one though is fire, in my opinion.
All right, here we go. Rebel or Resistance troop transport.
This thing is sick. I have it like taken apart in a bag somewhere. I really wish I had it built, but this thing is sick. I think it retailed for
It was 60 as well.
only 60. That's crazy.
70.
Okay. Was it 70? Okay, 69.99. So this thing is underrated. So I had that Resistance battle pack with it, and this set could literally fit obviously these 4 figs, but then if you had that Resistance battle pack, it could fit 4 more. Like I think you can literally put like 10 figs in this thing, and that's pretty good. Would you say, Jay, for a $70 set to be able to transport like 10 figs, because you have one in the cockpit, and then the actual thing when it opens up, like it's got a lot of seating in there. Like you can, it literally how the roof opens up, you can even put figs in there standing, and when it closes, it has just enough clearance to actually close. So you don't even have to sit down all your minifigs. You can even stand troopers up in there, and it'll fit all of them. Very swooshable set. A lot of stickers. There's stickers on that cockpit piece. Not super fun to apply to a clear piece like that, but I love the set. It's one of my favorites. I think it's underrated. I just love that it can hold like 1 million minifigs.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. You took the words out of my mouth. This thing is freaking cool. It's one of those weird sets that just has a design that has a big open space in the middle that allows you to just cram a bunch of figures in there. So yeah, I was a huge fan of this. Still have it built. We'll keep it together.
Yeah,
just out of respect. And
I think it's cool. It just looks like everyone's pet ever, like curled up.
It's kind of B-wing-ish, right?
Yeah,
in a way.
that's what it kind of
did I hear, Jay? You got a little more of the lore now. Didn't they take this from the B-wing or something? Or there were some stories I heard about this.
Oh, I have no idea.
Chopped up a B-wing.
You trumped me there.
Yeah, I was just watching something the other day. Yeah, they were like
the right half of the right little like cockpit section is the ship that Rose and Finn take the Canto by in episode 8.
So it breaks up.
Yeah, it does come off. Like it comes on, or it attaches with Technic pins.
It's not really supposed to. Like it's not like if for this set it wasn't like a play feature, but it just
exactly. Like, is it an escape pod?
Yeah.
All right, so Kariak gives it a 9 out of 10.
Detail on this was also really good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I love this set. I think the set's awesome. Sean, if you don't have this, you gotta get it.
Oh, I gotta get it.
Diorama's display is so much better. Like, man, I take
where are you diorama nerds now? Come on.
I take this over the thing. What's this? Oh, the trench run is the same price as this. No contest.
Yeah, this thing's way cooler. Yeah, the Resistance Troop Transport, one of definitely an underrated Force
What
Awakens
over
set,
the
I
First
think.
Order? What'd you say?
I think I might like it more than it looks cooler than the First Order. The
First
First
Order
Order
probably has better. First Order has.
better figs. It's got more figs. It's
Well,
got
it's got Phasma. I mean, let's.
yeah. But hey, if there's one character from the sequel trilogy that was disappointing, and I think most people can agree, even you, Jay, is that Phasma really didn't get much. I mean, do you agree, or do you think she had good development?
What do you expect her to do? She's
I
like,
was hoping Jay would counter with a.
Come on.
I was hoping Jay would counter with a Boba Fett because I've heard the Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's true. The Boba Fett comparison.
That's my thing. Yes, like
looked cool, did
she's
nothing.
not a main character, like,
but she looked really cool. Well, hold on, Jay. She looked really cool, and I think people wanted more. I'm not saying that's the right way to think,
but I mean, a lot of things look real. Captain Athano looked really cool, but all he did was sit at a table, like whatever, like get over it. Like that got like this movie's trying to freaking bring in 3 new main characters while also spoon feeding you neckbeards, all the original characters as well, and all you can think about was Chrome Lady don't do enough. That's why I can't stand it, dude. Like straight up,
Chrome Lady don't do
like, you go watch like, but they'll defend the prequels, like because like prequels can't even get the main villains right. But the sequels, oh, well, the 4th most important villain didn't do enough things, and it's just like, oh, it's the worst movie ever. But like Darth Maul is supposed to be the main villain, gets like 5 minutes of screen time, says about 5 words, and gets off.
well, so did Vader, but you know,
did Vader get offed?
No. I'm saying he had a couple minutes screen time, you know, like in the first couple,
right?
And, yeah. I'm saying pretty much the same with you. I'm aligned with you on this.
Maul, yeah.
And Vader said way. Hold on. Vader said way more than
Phasma Boba. I think. I'm sorry, but I think that's the best comparison. They look cool as shit. No one can deny Phasma. Bro. You didn't think Phasma looked cool? I thought she looked cool.
Oh, I thought you were saying Vader was comparable with Maul. Okay, my bad.
No. I'm saying the Phasma Boba thing is a really nice parallel. I think.
Yeah.
Looked cool, didn't ultimately do jack shit.
In 20 years, there'll be a Captain Phasma show.
Boba maybe did a little more than Phasma now that I think about it. Even in the Hive, there's Hive. Where's Hive? Didn't she have 5 minutes of screen time in 3 movies? Yeah, but she looked cool, man, you know. And Maul, they retconned. Maul, they retconned and they gave him his legs back and they gave him the old Vader treatment.
They gave him 8 legs.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Spider Maul. Hey, this set right here, actually kind of dope. 1/4 portion.
No, I think it's good for like a Monkey Kid set. I think it looks
yeah, and like the little thing that Tito rides on, the like animal blue thing, that thing is kind of dope.
Hive lurks real good. Yeah, he does. All right, Jay, did anyone care about this? What was happening with this one?
Oh, I really like the set.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, yeah.
Bro, Tito.
I didn't realize this is the 1/4 dude. Credits. All right, I gotta get this.
1/4 portion.
Awesome. The build is okay. It's Jakku-y enough.
Yeah.
Jakku-y.
Jakku-y. But dude, the thing
this over Takadano?
What?
It's kind of
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Bro, Trevor, chill, bro. I still have the set built. I'm looking at it right now. I like this set.
So this set actually pairs
Trevor
really
chill, bro.
Trevor chill. Daddy chill.
Daddy chill.
Daddy chill. What the hell is even that? Daddy chill. We need that sound bite in here on the soundboard when someone says something wild in the chat. Anyways,
The Last Jedi. Daddy chill.
Daddy chill. No, but what I was gonna say, this set actually pairs really well with Rey's speeder because you can kind of create your little Jakku environment. Yeah,
she rides over. She gets her.
She rides over. She gets her portions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the only Unkar, or what are we doing here?
Yeah.
It is the only Unkar.
I gotta get this. All right.
Yeah, you gotta get Tito. You gotta get Unkar.
Gotta get that.
I love him. He's great. All right.
Yo, let's go.
The blue.
So Jay, I just got this last week. Team Retail. So
I don't
Let's
have this. I need it. It's the
go.
only X-Wing I don't have from those sequels.
new in box. I got it.
Need it.
A, B.
You get a
Yeah.
little trooper in there, and you get the. This will begin to make things right. Old guy.
He has a person, and his name is Lor Santeca.
I'm a person, and
Yeah,
my name
come
is
on, man.
Anakin.
Now, I'm sorry, Jay. Was this a Force Awakens or is this a Jedi set?
This is Force Awakens.
Okay.
It came
This
out
was
in the
in-
Jedi wave, right?
So Poe flew two different colors in this film.
Yes, he
Yeah.
he has this one in the beginning, and then when the X-wings help the attack on Takudana, he shows up in the black boy, the black and orange boy, for lack of a better term.
The Home Depot.
The Home Depot. There we go.
Right.
Better vocabulary.
Jesus.
One severely underrated part of the set, the helmet that comes with Poe is
Oh, it's fire.
it's unique, and it's the helmet he has at the very beginning of the movie. He literally puts it on for
yeah.
like a second and then takes it off. So the fact that they cared enough to give us that was really cool detail.
I need this. I need this one.
Yeah.
I hate that I don't have it. Damn you, Sean.
You made me realize how
Damn
many.
me, I didn't- listen, All I do in my fandom is run around and tell people to buy all the X-Wings and all the TIE fighters. And I'm hearing damn you, Sean. So there you go. But let's get a middling vehicle nobody cares about instead of this. All right. First order transport speeder battle.
Here we go.
All right. This
I
was
love
what?
this set so much.
How much was it?
Star Killer would not have been possible without this.
This is a better battle pack. Star Killer would have not been possible.
It wouldn't have. It just would not have.
Love it.
Mayo left, had lunch, did things, and he came back and he's like, "You guys are still on?"
Yeah,
We
dude,
did.
I don't-
Awesome
On a couple of
lore.
brickheads, we go hard. Each show is like a true marathon. We
Well, it's
cover
easy-
the sets.
it's
we
easy
cover
to do.
Star Wars philosophy. We do the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I'd say it's easy to do just an hour on Star Wars alone.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see what our last Jedi rant clocked in at, Jay. It's probably 45. Just
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Something like that.
I like it. By the way, shout out to Jay for posting somewhere earlier. Like I just did my 21,000th whatever defense of last Jedi. It's old hat. It's old hat for you. But no, this one's cool because you get two, what I'm looking for, army building. You get two of the first order Stormies, always fun. You get a officer. Is that officer in any other set, Jay? He looks pretty unique.
The closest we get to it, Rose has that same outfit on in that ATST, but technically speaking, yes, this is unique to this set.
All right. Is that a Navy outfit?
It is, yeah.
All right, cool.
And we do see these guys in the movie, so it's cool to get an officer variant.
All right. And then one other observation is Lego really had a boner for these flame troopers. It's really it seemed to show up a lot.
It's so weird for you to say that now because, like, back in the day, I remember, like, I was like, I wanted more flame troopers so bad, but they were so hard to get because they're only that $90 set. So
I'm a purist, Jay. I think you know that about me. I'm a purist.
Sure.
I'm a purist. I want pure Stormies all the time.
One weird lore thing about this ship is I think like at some point in the design for like a resistance ship, it was going to look like this. But along the design process, they ended up flipping it around and it actually became the first order snowspeeder. So if you look at this is literally just like a smaller first order snowspeeder, but backwards.
Dan just got here. They better keep going. Dan, we're on the home stretch. You'll have to do replay, gang. No, I think it's cool. I'll give it a I guess an A, man. I got two first order Stormies. What else do you want, Brent? What
Yeah.
is
I mean, it's a solid battle pack A for sure. Oh, sorry, I forgot I have a mic. Yeah, solid battle pack A for sure. 3 Stormies
we can hear you from any direction.
from over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you sound great.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Max, what do you think? Max, can you show your hair, by the way? We're 3 hours into this. Can you?
The float is gone.
All
It's
right.
all gone.
All right.
Show it later.
Cut off
I'm
his
here
locks.
now.
We need to do that.
Flow is gone.
Jay, you're
I-
A on this one, right? You said
It's
you
an
would.
A.
Oh, A for sure.
Okay. All right. Next, we almost done with anything tagged Force Awakens.
Unfortunately, not.
The quad
The
jumper.
quad jumper is fire.
It is kind of sick.
I
I never
don't-
got it.
Really remember it from the movie so much, but this
blows
one
up.
reminds me of a tight little build like the Andor set. You know what I mean? Like I remember, I think similar to now, everyone's like, this thing's overpriced even at the time, but I've seen it in person. I definitely want it. It's just so built out, stacked. She thick. You know what I mean? Like
Very.
She is a little
hey,
thick.
did anybody care? Do you like this one? What's happening here?
I like the set. The only thing I didn't like, this was the first Force Awakens set we ever got that didn't have a single unique figure, so that was kind of annoying.
Ah, okay. All right. There's no fig draw.
There is no fig draw, yeah.
All right. And then what's with these first order Stormies that have like a apron on them? What's happening here?
Yeah, it's,
like the
it's
heavy-
a first order heavy gunner.
Yeah.
They have like, I guess, ammo canisters on their chests. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just rather have for it. Okay. Around the room, A. I think this is fire. I think it's
A?
slept on. I think it looks fantastic. No, I think it looks awesome. I mean, figs aside.
I'd say B. I want it, but I don't want it like I want some of the
All right,
other
that's
sets I
true.
missed.
Yeah, if it was A, I would have it by now. So that's B. Yeah,
I'll go
you're
with
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably go
it's a
B minus.
B
All right.
set.
I think if they took out the Stormtrooper, I guess they got out of Stormtrooper. If they took out the Untar's Brute and included another like figure unique to Jakku, I would be a lot more high on it.
All right.
Oh man, this one was pretty weak. I remember nobody really liking this thing.
I feel like this set gets some unnecessary flack.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything
He's
against
a
it.
defender of all things people think are good. I love it.
Everyone's like, this
I
set's
mean-
dog shit. Jay's like, set gets a lot
See
of
the
flack.
value.
I mean,
There's some great pieces in there. Huh?
I mean, we used to all be in agreement that the prequels were bad, but then people lost their minds, and then I became a contrarian.
No, listen, I'm with you. I think the prequels are bad. I'm with you.
Thank you.
episode 3 is great.
Sith is pretty good though. Yeah,
No, it's not.
Yes,
it's better than it was.
Jay, are you gonna tell me the okay? Episode 3 or
And
episode
go.
9?
All right, who's got another 45? All right, let's get through this.
Episode 3 or episode 9?
Listen, we're gonna Jay, and I'm hoping the back and forth hasn't deterred you from coming back. We have to do less. if we don't do Last Jedi with you, I don't know who the hell we'd do it with. We got to do this thing.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun.
All right, good. So you're agreeable. We didn't offend you too much in our hatred of. All right.
I mean, you guys literally let me spit facts for like 30 minutes straight. Well, how can I?
Listen,
That's what we need.
No, we need your facts. I'm just saying. I cannot wait for Last Jedi. I think it should be a fight poster, like me and you on a fight poster for Last Jedi show. We'll talk about it. Right.
Beware, we may beware rants, or we need like a beware of rants or something tag on that.
Could be a rant, and we'll barely cover the sets. But Rathar, say I don't know. I see this set, and you know what I like about it, Jay, is it's a weirdo set. You know what I mean? Like it's really out of left field. It doesn't look like it's part of anything. I think you got a couple of Venom mini builds over there going on. Like you do get an old man Han if you need one. You get a couple of
unique face print.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Shout out to that. Shout out. There he is. Oh, side smirk. I like that. What was the show that was big on Netflix? The game show where everybody dies. What is it?
Squid Game.
Yeah,
That's what those guys look like.
Game
Right?
guys. Yeah.
What?
Squid
guys.
Game guys. Yeah.
They do look like the Squid Game guys for sure.
This okay, sure.
I'm
How
sorry,
dare
Jay. We'll
you
call Jay. We'll call him. I'm
disrespect-
sorry. You get a couple of Joe Circle Face guys. What are they
No,
called?
how dare you disrespect the Guavian Death Gang?
The Guavian.
I forgot.
Y'all proper.
I like Joe Circle Face better, but whatever.
Show Balatique some respect, bro.
Joe Circle Face.
No, I love that figure so much. I love that thing.
Do you like them or the petroleum guards better? Be honest.
Petroleum jelly guards. There is a lot of just red suited people in the
Because you know what happened? Red sells, man.
Evil color.
You know what happened is they put the Stormies in red, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we're doing it with everybody." I think that's what happened. So.
Yeah, but they didn't do red
Happened after
Stormies
this.
until episode 9. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Anyways, this next set is fire. I think we only have a couple left, but this dual set is sick. I like a $20 dual set. I think this is a $20 dual set done right. I think it's awesome. Look at this thing, and it separates. Classic.
Yeah.
Anybody else like this?
No, it's cool. I just like. We all think it's fine that they effectively tied in this duel.
Effectively.
No, I love the set. Give us our first battle damaged Kylo, unique to that set.
Yeah.
You got the Anakin eyes going on there. I like that. A little bit of Mustafarian slipping out from the cracks.
Butthole eyes.
Which I know why.
Same.
He's got poopy butthole eyes, man.
Butthole eyes?
Look at that.
I guess.
Yeah. All right.
I think y'all need to consult your local physician.
I don't even have anything else to say about
All right, Jay, for what it is, score it. We got to wrap this up. What are we doing?
I'll give it a B.
B. Brent's obviously an A.
I'm going to put it in A. I like this set.
Cool. Max?
Yeah, it's like a high B.
Butthole eyes.
Butthole eyes and more.
Look, I'm a sucker for all final battle sets. I'm gonna go B plus. I love all final duel sets.
It's cool,
so,
yeah, man. I like it. Do
I'm
you have this,
get them
Sean?
all.
Do you have
Not
this,
yet.
Sean?
I'm only missing a few final battle sets. I just ordered the Snoke one.
Isn't it crazy that this Resistance X-Wing has it's still on the shelves places? Although
Really?
Hey, this Poe is not unique in any way. Oh, is that the same helmet you showed us earlier? Is that the problem?
I don't know if that's the same one from the Blue X. The
I
big
thought
Blue
this
X-Wing.
was a unique fig, but I think Jay, you said it's not, right? This fig is not unique.
No, it's the same one from the Resistance X-Wing.
All right.
The bigger one. Yeah.
Oh, I guess this technically retired December last year, but you can still find it poking around some places on clearance.
Sure. Pick it up. Loads of fun.
Coles. Probably
Pick it up.
30 of them.
Give it a C. D. I don't care. All right.
D minus.
I'll give it a C minus.
I mean, I'll give it for a 4+ set is exactly what I would expect.
So A.
So A,
All right. Red Arm C3PO. What are we doing? What's this from? Is a promo?
It's a polybag, $5.
Wow. Only worth $9 now. So, guys, if you need you a red armed C3PO, you know where to get it.
I do need this fig.
So did 2,100 other people.
Damn.
Oh God, I see a page too.
Oh no.
I think
there might be like
it's like games.
All right. All right. So look, that was your retro review of Force Awakens waves 1 and 2, apparently. But I wanted to get through those. And 3. Shit.
Waves.
3 waves.
Wow.
Technically 4.
But we got through Force Awakens. All in all, A. I think everything blended was an A, right? We gave a lot of A's. I don't think there was a lot of duds in there. So yeah, guys, look, before it's too late, get these things. Nothing is excessively over retail at this point, right? I don't
some of the big boys, but other than that,
some of the big boys, but none of them are like 2x yet, right? 100% over retail, I don't think.
Not really.
No, I think the
transport maybe
first
sealed.
order transporter is like 200 sealed. Yeah.
All right, so that's the one to go after if you're, worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like Phasma driven. I don't know. What did you call her? The tin lady? What'd you say?
It's like, but everybody complains about the Chrome lady.
Oh,
Or
Chrome
he's like,
lady. Chrome lady don't get 30 minutes of screen time. This is
Yeah, that's funny. I like that. All right.
That's
Weekly.
like, never mind.
All right. No, you're good. All right. We'll do quickly weekly pickups, and then we'll take her home.
I got a great one.
Oh boy, here we go.
I already showed Sean, but I got this set right here
Oh man,
Yo,
for $70. Actually, $69. $140
Walmart.
set.
Walmart
Clearance, baby. Yep. I don't even like Jurassic like that, but to get two like big dinos and like $140, it was on clearance. It was sitting on clearance. There was a couple of them for $99, and I was so close to put it in the cart. And I was like, $99, it's $40 off. That's pretty good. Do I really care that much about Jurassic Park? No. I go in there today and I see it for $69, $30 more off than what it was. And I just thought, it's 50% off. You might as well. So, yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. Pretty stoked, man.
Max, anything?
I got a couple things.
Here we go.
Hey, he's been dry last few weeks.
Couple speed
Yes.
champs.
Oh,
Gotta
From the
get that
GTR.
skyline.
I got the Ferrari.
bro, is that an 18 plus Skyline?
I wish. And then I picked up a poly bag, and then I also got the up house from Costco. That's at the house.
Yo,
But yeah,
I mean, you said
Sean, I don't know.
you said Casco like you're from Boston there
Casco.
for a second.
Casco.
Yeah, you know,
Casco in Chicago.
Boston.
Yep. Good old
Bastard.
47 deal.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Best in Chicago.
But yeah, I guess that's like over the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
This is the most recent thing I bought. Okay, you can't even tell. It is a custom high silencer. Oh god,
Ooh.
yeah, you can kind of make it out. Let me turn off the background. And I turn off the background.
That looks pretty sick.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, here we
I
go.
like how it's all
Is that
tiled
like
off.
super tiled off?
It's not necessarily tiled off, but it's a lot of snot techniques.
Nice.
It's like, I mean, the wings are, yeah, it's
Dude,
It's
yeah,
too-
that thing. Ooh, that's got a
It's a little
stand.
stand.
this is it compared to the playset.
Lego would never.
That thing's sick.
Nah, bro, it's from The Last Jedi. It ruined my childhood. Worse than that. This ship ruined Luke. Oh, hey, Sean. How are you?
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Wow, we will.
all right.
Droid,
I got a couple
remember,
things. I'm
go
trying to-
back.
Okay, so here's what happened to me this week. I was finally Ryan was on. Was it last week? Yeah. I was finally sucked into the world of Whatnot.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Ooh, is that
Yeah,
a custom
so-
X-ray?
Yes, it is.
God, that's
I
better
like-
looking.
I like
than
the gray, dude. The gray, man.
Oh, is that a gold nose? What's happening there?
The gold nose cone.
Yeah, gold nose gang. Yeah. So I got some stuff off of Whatnot. It's not here yet, but I just went nuts and ordered a bunch of minifigs just to see what's going on. I wanted to learn the platform. I think I'd be very good on that platform, so I'm studying.
Yeah, Tommy.
Shout out to Dami. We had a great time.
Big shout out to Dami.
God, we had an
Here's
A-top
Dami.
takeover on a couple of those. It was really good. So, look, here's my take on Whatnot, Jay. I know you said, "Oh God," or whatever you said, but in the early days, there was a lot of fans of certain influencers overpaying for sets on Whatnot or overpaying for minifigures, whatever, both. they're like, oh, I gotta, shout out to M&R, but they were, overpaying by a wide margin on some of this stuff. You go to these normie guys though, and you can get some decent fire for $3 and $4, So I'm curious to see what my total is, because I just kind of sort of blacked out and started ordering stuff after I paid the shipping.
Blacked out.
I did. But I will say I looked at total damage. I think I spent like 120. I want to see how many figs I ended up getting for like 120 across a couple days. But the entertainment value.
5 figures.
No, way more than 5. A couple I got for $1 or $2. Yeah. I definitely got a lot of Royal Guards for $3 each. But an entertaining watch. Definitely more fun than just dropping a soulless order on eBay. These guys hustle for the money. That's fire, dude. I love that thing. So cool. That's the Kylo, right?
Yeah. You know what it's from? From the best Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Episode 3.
Episode 3 said.
Episode 3 is barely a movie.
Wait, Jay, so with a straight face, you're saying number 8's the best one?
Nah.
All right. You're not going to go that
Episode 4 is the best. Episode 8's the second best.
All right. Look at that.
I'm just showing off now. I'm
Just
sorry.
flexing. All right. So what I'm about to show is going to be boring to everyone, except for the fact that I got a killer deal. Shout out to Shop Disney. Shout out to City, who put this on his channel. But I saw it after I already had found it myself. But it came in record time, Brian. I think I told you I just ordered this. Ugh.
Yo. Yeah.
It's
So-
just bad.
118 had a gift card, made it feel a lot better. Shop Disney might still have them for 118. I was never in a million years paying 120 or 170 for that thing. So
No, can't do that.
What are you most excited about it in the set? Omega?
the girth.
Okay. That's it.
Earth.
Yeah, no, it's girthy as shit. Always wanted a CAD, and I don't feel like I want to, pay the price of this set for the old one. So I'm like, I'm good. And I just think it's weird. It's one of those oddball sets. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, Jay. It's like it might explode, it might not. But I'm going to build this one just because I don't know. I just want to. I've been intrigued by it. It's flawed. It's got issues, but it's girthy, and I like that.
I think
So.
Trevor just had a stroke in the chat.
Oh, you all right, Trevor? Trevor.
The fire Justy with Cade, Ban, and Omegon.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then this is a teaser. I'm going to draw this out. Guys, I made my biggest Lego purchase of all times. And by the way, there's some other stuff I'm forgetting. I apologize. But Jay, Eagle has landed. I got, for what a lot of people is their whitest of white whales,
Chrome Gold C3PO.
non-Star Wars.
Oh, never mind.
I said, "Oh, never mind."
Yo! Let's go!
Look at how clean. Look at shiny.
Shut the whole set?
Opened and used maybe once. I'm looking at this,
Yo,
Jay.
that's awesome.
The sticker work is phenomenal. I paid a pretty penny. I would not get one with shoddy sticker work or bashed up pieces. This thing is minty fresh. Shout out again
Banger.
to Calvin for advising me on this. He has all the monorail sets.
Bro, that set
Jay,
is
Jay, we've talked about, I'm a big Disney guy. I don't think we're ever going to get a proper monorail, but I did get the Eagle has landed. I got, for a lot of people, what's their ultimate white whale. I mean, dude, the connector, look how clean this is, dude. 1990.
Bro.
Damn.
I had like 3 of that set at one point.
Of course you did, Jay.
I went through a phase where literally what I would do, I would just buy them, like buy one off eBay, and then like take the tracks from it and then just relist it on eBay and
Yeah.
then like take the money back. Because
Yeah,
I just
nice.
I did a bunch of track. I didn't really need like like all the cars. I ended up selling them, but like I still basically got. I have a full set as well as a bunch of tracks.
It's just fire.
This set is so good. Like, oh my god,
They don't make it like they used to, man.
They
and
do
it's-
not, dude. Nothing can touch the airport shuttle.
Sticker work is good. So we've all seen these, Jay. You've seen them listed for, let's just call it 900 used, you know. And then when you zoom in on them, you see shoddy sticker work, and you see bashed up pieces, and you see figs with dings in them and stuff. And this guy had an opened one, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I'm looking at the base plates, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, I don't see any issues with this one. What is going on? And so new in box, these range from 6 to 9 to 12. I mean, it's sky's the limit, honestly, depending on sealed box condition. Now, I was never going to be in that world. But this guy had it, Calvin, remind me, I don't know, but 11 or 1200 or something, because he's like, it was my personal collection. I've opened it and built it once, and then I think I opened it again to sell it, whatever. And you know, you always hear that story, but I'm like, I'm DMing him like, give me more, let me see. He's like, the pieces are still shiny, they look new. I'm like, yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Anyways, we did a little bit of a talk down, a couple hundred, and then what pushed me over the edge, Jay, I always wanted it, but I happened to have for my birthday a few months ago like a $200, $200 or $300 eBay gift card, because I just knew I wanted to get some retired shit. Anyways, we got it down to a point where I was like, this is a couple, to your point earlier, Jay, this is like a current set for 500 or 600. You know, it's like I could either have a grail or get one of these new things. And so I was just like, I pulled trigger, man, and I feel like I did all right. So
I'm so happy. Like, that actually made me happier than any Star Wars set would have. So I'm glad you have respect for the classics.
Oh, dude, I mean, the moment I saw it, I had to have it even way back when, but I was like, I had to find the right deal at the right time and everything. And yeah, man, this is just phenomenal. So,
oh yeah, I love that set so much.
So for those of you that don't know what this is, look up Airport Shuttle. You guys know I love girth. This has the girthiest, I believe, Jay, footprint of any Lego set ever.
Oh, 100%. It's not even
like, covered. I mean, like, I'm showing you these little cars, but it'll take over a room, this set.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah, like I got that set when I was living in a dorm room, and I had to put it on the floor, and it barely fit.
Now, when you brought the girls back, what?
You just politely stepped over it, bro. No big deal.
Watch your step.
Watch your step.
It is fun. I did have this one girl because I had like a shelf of like Black Series figs. I was decently minimalist when it came to Star Wars crap in my dorm rooms, but like I like went to the restroom and like she had left, but when I came out, like I noticed like some of my figures were like not in the right place. So I did like everything in me told me not to do it, but like I simply messaged her and I'm like, did you knock some of my figures over? Like, not upset at all, but just kind of curious because like I knew like that's definitely not how they were. And she just found it so hilarious. She was like you could tell that like something was moved. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I have them a certain way. It's not a big deal, but it was just one of those like super nerdy moments, I guess. Where it's like, you touched my dolls, you know?
So it was a good run with her after that, right? That was it.
Nah, we're so cool. But it
was a red flag.
Funny.
Touch my
It probably was. Definitely probably was.
I feel like I'm going to do everyone one better, and then we'll get into the full reveal. Hold on one sec, and then we'll wrap it.
Oh God.
Well, it's a full review of the.
Does he have more, or does he have the box? That's what I have the original instructions. I do not have the box. I want the box so bad.
Not my price range. Oh.
Yeah, I wonder if this thing's gonna like skyrocket in price now, or lower in price. I don't know.
Or lower. I don't know.
It's weird to think of how these things go. Bro, this is a dusty boy. I can't even lie.
So Jay, one thing I left out. This wasn't some in the bag
You
thing.
have the box?
Oh, baby.
He was just saying how he wanted the box.
Oh, baby.
Outside of like this corner right here, you can see Jay. Look at how minty this is, dude.
Oh, man. That is crazy.
Wow.
I'm sorry my green screen's messing up, but guys, like the
With
box. Yeah, dude. Like
Dude.
this wasn't like your average come up. I feel like, I mean, look how crispy that is.
Yeah, I'll trade you a Sealedy Walk Village for that.
Got the
Damn,
flap.
just
It's got
thought
the
about it.
flap action too, like
he
old
thought
school.
about it.
Ooh, me, I didn't think about it for a moment. The value is not there. No, but even if it was on par, to get one of these in this kind of shape, man, it's unreal. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So, I guess the green is poking through on here, guys. That looks kind of wild, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was unreal. And again, shout out to Calvin in the chat. He was my Yoda throughout this whole thing because he has all the monorails, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Is this good? Is like, no, my Calvin, the track's been confirmed. There's no yellowing whatsoever on any of this. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Like, I could have just opened this for, I would never pay $9K for it. But I feel like if I did, I'd be like, it's the same experience, honestly. And now I'm more apt to open it because it's already been opened. So
There you go.
but yeah, I took the trains out immediately to check those. But yeah, man, this is the GOAT set of all time. It's probably my greatest weekly pickup I'll ever have, if I'm honest.
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Besides like buying a house or something. Like,
Nah.
yeah, houses come and go, but the airport shuttle is forever.
Yes.
And as Jay put in the chat, $63.99 rules all. I don't want to hear it. There could be better sets, but I don't know. $63.99. So damn crisp. So with that,
Crisp.
I won weekly pickups this week. I'm sorry.
Definitely.
Sorry,
Big
bro.
dubs.
You deserved it.
Deserve all the dubs. He's like carefully set on.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm very carefully setting it down. I'm like, how dirty is this floor right now? Well, I'm in a garage. I'm in a temporary setting, so I'm like, what's going on down here?
What is it? I can only. Is it hot?
What
He's
is what?
in. I think he's in North Carolina.
I'm in North Carolina, but like I know I'm literally checking the floor. Like, is there oil? Like, what's happening here? I'm in a garage with a backdrop, so I'm just making
No,
sure.
is it hot there?
What's the temperature
Oh,
like?
here? No, it's great. It's, daytime like 70 even. It's great.
Oh, okay.
So there it is.
Yeah, I cannot imagine being in my garage right now. Oh my god.
Oh no, it's fantastic down here right now. Yeah, but I'm set up. We moved from California a couple weeks ago. Temporary setup, rental house, working with a realtor to get the permanent solution. But for now, it's where we are. It's fine. Chase Elliott lives in New York. No kidding. The NASCAR name. Not surprised.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're in NASCAR country.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Them left turns.
Well, I think the funniest thing ever is my little brother is a NASCAR fan, and one year when the Daytona 500 was on, and he was there, and I was trying to find him on TV. On the commercial breaks, they were playing the Beyonce song. They're like, "To the left, to the left." It's like that.
Oh my god.
I said, whoever did that, high comedy. Shout out to them. So, all right, guys. But this concludes another epic episode. I'd like to thank Rich Boy Jay for coming on. I
This is
love
my
how you
pleasure.
defend Last Jedi to the death. It's fantastic.
Oh, all day.
And speaking of, Jay, you've already verbally agreed, but I just want to confirm. You'll be back. We'll do the Last Jedi wave or waves. I'm sorry, but every set that has to do with Last Jedi. So, guys, in addition to retro reviewing these Lego sets, there will be another epic verbal battle about the quality of the Last Jedi film that you can look forward to. So, really, Jay, it's like a 2-in-1. even though you feel strongly that it's a blowout in your favor. I don't know if I need backup because you're really passionate about how great this movie is, but we'll see. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You gotta have me on when we talk about the Clone Wars too. That'll be fun.
Yeah. No, I'm listen, I don't have an opinion other than I guess my opinion is similar to yours. Like, I don't get it, but I feel like I need to see it before I can give a true opinion on it. Last Jedi I've watched 4 or 5 times. I feel like I'm more qualified to give an opinion on Last Jedi than I am the Clone Boys, you know. So
all I'll say is there is an actual scene in Clone Wars where an alien farts on Anakin and Ahsoka twice.
all right, well, what was that? The 5-0 I don't even know.
The 5-0 fart.
The 5, yeah, I was going to go there, but it's a little bit late. So we'll do it.
Some high cinema there, man.
Well, another marathon episode. What can I say? But it was a fun one. We talked about everything Force Awakens, guys. If you like any of those sets, we highly advise. That's one thing we all agree on. Go get them now before they spike. There's some real gems in there for just over retail. Pick them up before nostalgia comes back and everybody gets excited. So, for Brent from Brent's Bricks, for Max from West Coast Bricks, for Rich Boy J, aka Grand Mock Tarkin, this has been Sean Solo, and this show has been.
You mean Sean the right way?
The right way, old handle. Tired. A couple of brickheads. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you here next week. Peace.